All right, we're good. All right, so we're here with Kraut and T, who's editing videos at 6 in the morning. Is this
Yeah,
is this a common occurrence, Kraut?
yeah, it is. It's. I have things. I sometimes work on a video for like 8 hours, and then I think it's shit and delete it.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah, pretty much. So maybe you can help me out with a problem. I have this large collection of Islamist YouTube channels, like Salafists, extremists, a guy who is under surveillance by the British state because he is suspected of having recruited people for ISIS, and yeah, for some reason he has a YouTube channel, and I am going to take on their videos in a series. Now, what do I call this series? Do I steal Thunderfoot's name and call it "Why People Laugh at Muslims," or is there a better way of naming it?
Yeah, I probably wouldn't go that route, but what you need like a catchy 2-word title, that kind of just hits you, and maybe it could even, I don't know, it could what's that phrase when you have 2 words that start with the same letter? Shit, it's
I don't.
late.
I know what you mean, but I don't know what
Yeah,
it's called.
I'm not gonna ask. It's 6 in the morning for you. Yeah, but something like that. Even though that's kind of cheesy too. Um, yeah, I'm trying to think. What do people in the chat think? What should Kraut call his series? Islamist Insanity. That's
Whoa,
not bad.
that's perfect. No, that's actually perfect, Abdullah. That's whoa. Yeah, thank you. I'll use this.
Alliteration. Thank you.
Thank you. So,
Islamist Insanity. Make that shit work. I'd never forget you, Abdullah. Never.
yep, Abdullah. If this series takes off, you can tell people that you invented the name.
We did something to society. It's amazing.
Maybe I'll call it Islamic insanity, because Islamists. Now, I'm not just going after Islamists. Islamic insanity.
Yeah, you'd probably agree with me, but and to be fair, a person who's been pushing that term a lot is Majid Nawaz. But I have a problem when people say Islamist all the time in place of saying Islamic or Muslim. Yeah,
we're atheists. We're not. Don't you find the thing funny that when we used to go after Christians 6 years ago, we didn't give much of a damn about if they were moderate Christians. We would go after them anyway. And now it's like this: the situation with Islam. Islam is such a horrid fucking cancer that people are begging for moderate Islam to turn up. Just please be as bad as the Christians are, which would be a lot better than what you are like right now.
Yeah, that is weird. Because we didn't really make a distinction. There are Christians who are trying to work in the government, I guess, in a similar way to Islamists, but we never made a distinction between them and just your average day Christian. We didn't have a special term for them. Upset when we would criticize overreaches by Christian political figures. Oh, will this offend the beliefs of the everyday Christian? Like, no, we're against all of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Muslim thing is it's shocking. And I think it's mostly just because they're primarily of a different race and of a different culture, and somehow feel off limits to people. And another aspect that's a little weird is Muslims who come into Western countries aren't as receptive to criticism. Like, you could beat down on Christians for decades, and what we've seen what's happened. They've largely surrendered. With Muslims, but I don't know if it would work in necessarily the same way, even given that much time. I think that their communities are so tight knit that they would just continue to isolate themselves and keep themselves in their little safe space. God.
Even if it were somehow the end game, even if we would all think like, yeah, we should have the goal of like beating them down to that limit. You know, how do I put this best? It's always best to go after something piecemeal by piecemeal. And just take a second to just think about the situation we are in here. That we are essentially self-censoring ourselves on a collective basis throughout several societies across the entire Western Hemisphere. Do you think that this ever occurred before in the history of Western civilization? That entire nations just silenced themselves?
Not at all. I'm not really sure exactly why, but it doesn't even really matter why. The point is it's happening and it's bullshit. It's ridiculous and unacceptable because we're being faced with a problem that, I mean, I'm not gonna, there's probably been problems that were more significant, but this is a very unique, insidious problem that's deceptive, that kind of works beneath the currents. And maybe that's why, because it's not directly in people's faces. It's not like a German army. It's a lot more covert.
It feeds off our weaknesses.
Yes, they have. It almost seems like this is an enemy that has been specifically manufactured to cripple the West, because it does capitalize on every weakness the West has.
I think I have this feeling, you know, that in 3 years' time, most of us will be going after the alt-right after we defeated the SJWs. And when we go after the alt-right, we will still be avoiding going after Islam in a certain way.
You see, that is a problem, isn't it?
Yeah, that we're constantly sidestepping the issues over and over again. And I see it. I'm gathering together a bookmarked list, have been doing so for several weeks, of like alt-right channels and everything, because I intend to go after the more insidious aspects of them. And I just watched a video by some alt-right guy claiming that gender transition surgery was invented by the Jews to degenerate the white race.
Oh, Jesus.
I watch this shit and I think to myself, because he has videos as well where he complains about the legitimate gripe of Islamization in Europe. And I think to myself, this guy here is also part of the problem. It's not just the SJW who makes excuses for Muslims. It's this guy here who gives the SJW something to hit on, who validates the SJW.
Yes. Absolutely. Well, I was wondering what you think about this, because there's plenty of people like that who openly condemn Islam, who I don't consider allies in any way. I'm very careful who I align myself with, because, I mean, if you put yourself in a group or with another person, it does reflect badly on you. And I really don't feel the need to give brownie points to people who are anti-Muslim, because I think it seems like such a no-brainer to me.
A fascist is a fascist. It doesn't matter if it's a fascist in the name of the white race, of socialist collectivism, or of Allah. Fascist is fascist. I don't care. It's all shit to me.
Yeah, I think a lot of people live in worlds of false dichotomies. They can't really, it's either like, okay, you're completely on this side or you're completely on the other side. People in our camp we have this really strange middle ground, it feels like, where we have to fend off enemies from all fronts. And it's a bit precarious, but I mean, and it might not be the safest approach, because we are going to make more enemies than if we just completely aligned ourselves with the side. But ultimately, we are on the right side.
It's a tough time for rationalists. And I have the feeling that, you know, in 3 years' time, the people who we now consider to be SJWs will be crawling to us on their knees, begging for forgiveness for the things that they destroyed. Pretty much,
Yeah, they don't have much longer to last, do they? I don't see their movement being long lasting in any way.
I'm pretty sure that Trump is going to be elected the US president. Did you see the video Thunderfoot uploaded a few hours ago?
I did not. What was it about?
The Reason Rally has to raise $100,000 within the week to continue, and they only managed to raise 18,000 or 13,000 or something.
Ooh.
And that some creationist Christian is intended to appear there with $25,000 to give food to people, meaning that the atheist movement that existed in the United States was essentially killed off by these people, because the Reason Rally has SJW policies all around it, like don't offend this, there are safe spaces here and everything else. People like Aaron Ra, he really attacked Aaron Ra really hard in this video.
Oh God. Yeah, that is a problem. Like I know a couple of people who went to the recent rally who would more align with us, and as much as they were going to have a good time, they did voice some concerns that, like, oh yeah, Aaron Ra's there, Maryam Namazi was going to appear. It's like, yeah, these people are, I mean, they're atheists, sure, but are they really aligned with us on what matters?
I mean, everyone can turn up at the Reason Rally. I don't give a fuck. But the thing is, they have taken control over it. They have taken control over American atheists and created this toxic social justice institution, made it out of it, and it's failing. It's collapsing. And I think, as far as I've followed the American atheist movement, I think it will be dead after this year. And then people like Thunderfoot, who mainly built it over the past 5 years, will have to take on the task of rebuilding it again if they find the strength to do so, or others will. Probably under the Trump administration.
and that's the thing, because a lot of people do get freaked out, like, oh, the atheist movement is turned to shit. Like this, I mean, it has to a certain extent, but really, these movements come and go. And every time that something like this happens, like Atheism Plus or what's happening at the recent rally, it gets so heavily criticized and just shit on. And I mean, they must see the backlash. There's no way they don't.
I guess what we could do out of all of this is at least try to learn something for the next time it comes around. The next time someone infests a movement we build and says, oh yes, I'm a feminist, let's talk about feminism, we know exactly what to say now.
The atheist community in that regard poses an interesting challenge, because, and I'm a little jaded when it comes to getting a bunch of atheists gathered together and like, let's celebrate our atheism. It's kind of a little strange, because ultimately it does lead to dogmatism, and because there is no God, there's no supernatural elements, they're going to flock to something like the social justice ideology. It's just inevitable.
I think the atheist movement in the United States, as it cropped up, in the mid-2000s, was actually a necessary movement because of the aggressive evangelical nature of the Christian far right. But
sure,
now, first of, I think to a certain degree it would still be necessary, but it kind of killed itself. And the difference between the atheist movement in the United States and what we clearly need here in Europe is, in the US, they needed it to make clear that there are atheists in the country, and that atheists are not horrible people, and that secularism is enshrined in the US Constitution. In Europe, we need a secular movement specifically to attack a threat to our societies, to attack the insidious Islamic communities who undermine our societies and the values upon which our societies are built upon.
Yeah, and I mean, it needs to be secular. It needs to be a completely separate thing from Islam to show that we are better than Islam. And that's why I'm very skeptical of any I don't know, any attempt of rallying Christians to combat Islam. It's like, I mean, you're better, certainly. You're not on the same level of bad, but you still do have this root problem that if it goes unchecked long enough, it will lead to Islam.
The thing about secularism in Europe is it hasn't evolved into. You don't have to be an atheist anymore in Europe to be a secularist. First off, of course, a majority of the people here are non-religious by now, at least a large segment of society. And the idea that the democracies and republics of Europe should be secular, should have a firm separation of religion and state, is deeply ingrained in most of us. So in Europe, you could actually have a secular movement that has religious members, if one has to say so.
Sure.
It wouldn't be an atheist movement, but it would certainly be a secular movement.
Yeah, and we can advocate for that. I think a lot of that is Europe has become just stagnant to the idea of religion in general. You know, like it just hasn't been a problem for that long. So when all of a sudden you're confronted with people who are deeply fundamentally religious to the core, it is a definite culture shock. It's not something that's been seen
say
for
that
a long time.
because we also have fanatics here, not just
Sure.
Islamic ones. We have I met fucking people who believe that Poland should be an authoritarian medieval style Catholic monarchy. You know, these people exist here too. The thing is just that, as you said before, with Islam you have this insidious race element added into it that doesn't make any sense if you think about it. Wait a minute, I have to let my cat in.
You're all good. Who's all here? We have Taz here, and oh yeah, all the regulars.
Okay, yeah, the cat is in.
The cat is in. Hashtag cat is in.
So I can't view the chat, weirdly enough.
Oh, that's strange.
Yeah, let me refresh the page and see what's happening.
Yeah, for people who are just getting here, we were discussing the alt-right.
At least briefly. In the beginning we were.
Yeah.
This is weird. It automatically jumps up to the first comment for some reason.
YouTube is fucking up on us.
Yeah, YouTube has been having problems all the time.
That's not extremely reassuring to those of us who work on here.
Yeah. It's your Q&A. Have any questions been posed yet to you?
Yeah, I didn't know you were going to come in, but that's cool. I guess we could do questions and whatever I'll answer and Kraut can answer. Sure. Or just whatever you'd like us to discuss.
I've just been reading news here that, they found a police investigation revealed that an ISIS terrorist was hiding in a refugee home, but they couldn't get hold of him. And same day, also today, meaning 3 suspected Islamic suicide bombers arrested in Düsseldorf. That's just news coming in today. Maybe I should do a Muslim shit in Germany weekly show.
You probably could.
Yeah, it has gotten to that stage.
I'm sure that it had nothing to do with Islam, though. They were motivated. They were motivated by the Holocaust. They were so appalled by that, and we all know how much Muslims love Jews. So yeah, that was the motivation.
Mind if I send Hagbard an invite via Skype?
I did send him a link, so he should be able to come in here.
Yeah, I'll send it to him again.
Come on in, Hagbard.
Let me invite EdgyptianSphinx as well. Do you know EdgyptianSphinx?
I am aware of him. I don't think we've spoken, but that's fine. He's cool.
6 in the morning and nothing to do.
Invite everyone.
I'm not going to invite everyone. ISIS. Oh yeah, I actually got a death threat from ISIS.
Oh really?
Yeah, from an ISIS account, at least, or someone who claimed to be an ISIS account.
Interesting. What was it? Just kind of the usual, like "you will die" Kraut, or anything
Yeah.
particularly interesting?
We will behead you and parade your severed head through the through Munich, which will be the something like the local capital of the northeasternmost province of the Caliphate or something.
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if Hagbard was having trouble or not.
Maybe he's just not interested.
Yeah, he's just like, fuck this shit. I think he told me he was cleaning or something. How well do you know Hagbard, Kraut?
I've had a few chats with him, but other than that, I just watch his videos.
Yeah, he would have been here, except I was impatient and started this. He's our other co-host here. But yeah. How dare he not show up?
Boredom.
Very much.
You know what the thing about these Islamic YouTube channels is? They're so sleek with these amazing animations. And you just watch them and you immediately realize there's a shitload of Saudi Arabian money pumped into each and every single one of them.
Oh yeah. There's what was that one? Have you seen the Merciful Servants videos?
Yeah.
Yeah, those ones are that's a good example. And there's a bunch.
By the way, I found out who the guy is who runs that YouTube channel. I'm not going to dox him, but still an interesting person to say the least. He's Pakistani immigrant, lives in London, has no job, has a family, and still for some reason finds the time to run the YouTube channel and the charity and feed his family. Meaning, yeah, his charity is probably where he gets his Saudi money. It looks to me quite a lot like a Saudi financed operation. And he seems to have studied something like graphics design or something.
Interesting. Yeah, it is scary. You can trace the money to a lot of these sources back to the Middle East. And it's like, yeah, that explains it. And it works. It really does. Like AJ Plus is really successful.
Well, as successful, you know. How long have they existed? 2 years or something? 3 years?
Yeah, something like that.
I'm not trying to brag or something, but I have a faster rate of channel growth than they have.
Sure, but I mean, I see their videos get shared a lot by, young progressives or whatever who are just completely oblivious to the agenda. That's how the propaganda is successful.
Do you think they realize that it's financed from Qatar? That the people who own this channel and who give it its money own 2 million slaves?
No. I think most people who watch AJ Plus aren't even aware it stands for Al Jazeera.
That's so sad.
I would not be surprised if a majority of the audience didn't understand that.
That's so fucking sad. It's like,
it really is.
Yeah.
For sure. I guess, okay, so, I think I just saw a question and I just lost it.
Let me go through
up. All right, okay, so Kraut, in one of your videos, you mentioned Iranian money along with Qatar and Saudi money. What terrorist attacks is Iran sponsoring in Europe?
The Mykonos assassinations. That's 6 Kurdish exile politicians, secular left-wingers, who left Iran after the Ayatollah took over the country, fled to Germany, and had exile Kurdish political meetings in a Greek restaurant called Mykonos. I believe they had these meetings like once a month. And it was in 1994 when 3 gunmen stormed the restaurant and murdered all of them. Okay, you may as well just call it an assassination and not a terrorist attack. It doesn't change the fact that one of the perpetrators was captured by German authorities. He was a Lebanese citizen, member of Hezbollah with connection to the Iranian Revolutionary Guards. So this is one example I can give from the top of my head, that the Iranian government financed and carried out the murder of people in Germany. Any more examples? Or did that just drop out?
Hey, sorry, it just decided to kick me out for some reason. Speaking of Google being terrible.
Yeah. Yeah, I just gave my example. I don't know if you heard it.
I heard the beginning part, and I don't. I'm not quite as educated on that front as you, but no, I think you answered it good. I've cloned myself. Any other questions?
Kraut's an AFD shill. I don't vote AFD, for fuck's sake. Ever since I've appeared on the Drunken Peasants podcast, everyone keeps calling me a fucking Nazi.
Of course. Oh, we have Hagbard. Hello.
Hey, Hagbard.
Hey, how you doing, bud?
Fine.
Fine.
Yes.
Anything new and exciting over in German land?
We had a case of 3 Pakistanis sexually assaulting 27 women at a music festival yesterday.
So the system's normal.
Yeah, just another day in the caliphate.
Just another day in an Islamic country.
This is why Americans have guns.
By the way, yeah. If you mention that, gun sales have fucking skyrocketed here since the migrant crisis.
Yeah,
started.
and don't you guys have to like set up like a years-long insurance program just to own a gun?
It's what is it like? I have family members who own firearms.
But it's
If you
expensive.
want to, no, it's not that expensive. But what do you have to do? You have to apply in a weapons category. You know, weapons are categorized as like assault rifles, hunting rifles, rifles, and pistols. You have to apply for the category, and then you have to take a firearms safety test, and you do that test either with the police or with a private gun club.
Nice.
And once you've passed that test, you're eligible to own a firearm, pretty much, at least in that category.
I think that's an infringement on my Second Amendment rights.
Yeah, I do find that interesting, and I had actually read an article about that saying that stores had sold out, like whole distribution hubs in Germany had no more guns to sell.
Yeah.
They're like calling other European manufacturers and American manufacturers like Browning and trying to get more guns.
Yeah, but the thing is, if you want to own a firearm here in Germany, you could just as well just take a trip to Belgium, which has like the least regulations on firearm ownership. Illegally buy a firearm and just smuggle it back to Germany. It's not that hard to obtain a firearm. It's just a little bit of a hassle if you want to obtain it legally.
I find that interesting because you hear about how hard it is.
It depends. Do you know what it's like in Switzerland?
The edge has entered.
Greetings.
Hey, hello.
Salutations.
How are you all doing?
It's 6 in the morning. Getting close to 7. Working on something. My girlfriend's telling me to go to bed.
Sleep is for the weak.
Yeah, it
What
seems
is
like
sleep?
the time for that is past.
Yeah, what's sleep? I don't
We can
think
sleep
aware
when
of
we're
this.
dead.
Oh,
Yeah, for real. So we haven't spoken. Is it Egyptian? I'm sorry. I'm terrible.
Oh, sorry, knocked my mic over.
Oh no. No problems. If only your camera had been on.
You can just call me Sphinx or Edgy or whatever.
Okay.
I call you Edgy. And I like the channel trailer you made.
Thank you.
I
Yeah,
wasn't entirely sure what you would do with it, but yeah, I really enjoyed it.
Yeah, the voiceover worked out really well.
Oh yeah, the one you just put out?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was quite entertaining.
We'll call you edging.
I'll call
Jeez.
you Edgy.
Gross.
I was just telling Hagbard that in Switzerland, how do you think you get a gun in Switzerland?
The government just gives you one, basically.
Yeah, that's basically it.
Yeah.
Every man has to serve in the army, and after you serve in the army, you can just keep your fucking fully automatic assault rifle.
Hey,
Yeah,
it works. They have extremely low gun crime rates and murder rates, so they're doing something right.
As Layman said, it has more to do with culture.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's because they're European. I mean, what do you want?
You just have to go to Italy and lose your fucking mind when you see the fucking homicide rates in northern Italy are non-existent, whilst in southern internet it's just exploding.
Yep. Not related to anything at all.
After it crosses the white line, Hagbard. Below the white line.
Halfway up there.
I'm going to tell you something in the side chat, and you're just going to keep it to yourself.
Ooh, a secret.
Here you go. Keep it to yourself there.
Jeez, Kraut.
But
Yeah, no.
It's extremely easy for me not to give anything away because I can't see the side chat. So.
Good for you.
I ain't saying nothing.
Oh, I guess we have a question. Just for Kraut. Kraut gets all the questions. When discussing your thoughts on an Islamic rape culture, why didn't you bring up forced child marriages and lack of protection against marital rape?
It's a good question. I don't know. I guess I just forgot to look that up. But yeah, that is actually something I should have looked into. Especially when you consider that 70% of all marriages in Pakistan are incest cousin marriages arranged by families and enforced by families. So it would have probably been something worth looking into.
No, you probably just brought it up because you support it.
Yeah. Hail incest.
You didn't mention something automatically in support. But yeah, so I guess are you for sure going with Islamic insanity, Kraut?
Yeah. I am going with Islamic insanity, at least so far. It sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're gonna? I missed the beginning of this. You're gonna start just doing videos on Islam?
I'm starting to do a series, kind of like how Zargon has his This Week in Stupid, and how Thunderfoot has Why People Laugh at Creationists. I'm going to do Islamic insanity.
Oh, sounds like good fun. There's plenty of that on YouTube.
Yep.
No
That's even
shortage.
going into articles, man. If you want to have a lot of fun, go to like Quora and see some of the questions and answers on that website. Oh, the apologetics there is beautiful.
I'm going to love it. And it's a brilliant title because you can easily change it to Regressive Insanity and other shit.
Yeah, well, I
Yeah.
deeply appreciate it because crazy is just the name of my game. I like the people that are willing to stand up and say things out loud that like functioning humans with brain cells would never say.
You have to go with the alliteration because my other channel I run is Regressive Roundup, and I just upload little Young Turks clips there. It's always fun.
No, they're just constantly cranking stuff out. There's no shortage of insanity from them. I saw this video they put up. I think it was yesterday. About something an NRA, National Rifle Association spokesman said about mounting a gun safe in your child's closet, which admittedly is maybe a little bit extreme, but you know, he was talking about a safe with a combination lock and everything that a kid isn't going to be able, unless you tell them the combination, they're not going to be able to just get into it. But anyway, the Young Turks basically tried to make it sound like the guy was talking about just leave a gun in your child's closet unsecured, was how they portrayed it, even though they played the clip of the guy talking about a safe. So they're really relying on the inattentiveness and stupidity of their audience.
They are the masters of that. They'll play something, and then like 2 seconds later misquote it. And I'm like, wait, what? Did no one else catch that? 'Cause
Yeah. I
I'm
mean,
not like the smartest person here, but come on, that's just sloppy.
But I mean, that's the terrifying thing, is that they have like 3 million subscribers, and their audience will like rabidly defend that kind of bullshit. And to be fair, towards the end they did clarify that, well, not really. They said they implied that it was a safe by saying, oh, well, the kid would have to know the combination, but they were very careful not to use the word safe, which was something I noticed. Oh, and then they did their little thing where they were like, oh, well, as progressives, we just want background checks and stuff. Like they do this as if background checks aren't already the law in the U.S.
Yeah, we don't do background checks in the nation. We just hand all the guns out to everyone. That's what we do.
By the way, if you think the Young Turks is bad, take a look at this. I just posted in the side chat. It's called The Real News. I only recently noticed it. It's just fucking... Just imagine the Young Turks being like 1,000 times worse.
You have found us another gold mine.
Kraut, what have you done to me? Like the Young Turks already makes me want to kill myself. So
I think this channel is actually run by Black Lives Matter activists as well.
Oh God!
It tries to cover international stories. It's like, yeah, there is what is this? Is there an economic and political war against Venezuela?
No, there's not.
Yeah, maybe a war they're waging on themselves with their shitty system.
Yeah, it's seppuku. It's seppuku, the economic war.
Hey guys, you want to pay $150 for a dozen eggs?
Yes.
Like,
they seem to be creeping up everywhere in recent years.
Would you simultaneously like to make $150 a day?
I wouldn't mind.
I had this guy on when we covered an AJ Plus video on Venezuela. He told that he was like really well informed. He researched this topic for fucking years, and he told me that the wealthiest people in Venezuela are prostitutes because they're only ones who can get foreign currency because they suck the dicks of sailors.
Nice. That's a sign that your country has succeeded.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you get known as the place where you can go get the highest quality prostitutes, your country fucked up, dog.
And the best thing was after we made that video, he sent me a link to a broadcast by the president of Venezuela, the current one, saying, I present to you my economic plan and shit. You know, the kind of broadcast in which it says, yeah, the situation is bad, but I have a plan. And guess what his plan was? Guess what he was talking about for 3 minutes? My plan is that I have a plan.
Brilliant.
What is it? My plan is I have a plan. I'm not going to tell you this, but I have a plan. I have a plan to fix this.
Very comforting.
Hey, come on, guys. He has a plan. I guess
this guy is going to get torn apart Gaddafi style. Should his people ever get their hands on him?
Yeah, I think he's already plotting his escape. That's his plan. That's why he couldn't say anything.
My plan is to go to Cuba into exile and live off the money I've stolen from you for the past 10 years.
That's called winning when you play the game Tropico.
Winning. Okay, well, I guess question for Kraut from Hazem. Sorry, I'm bad with names.
Hazem.
I suck. What do you think of my explanation of the majority male refugees in your comments section?
I haven't read it yet. Sorry.
Say,
I have to
wow,
read the
man,
comments.
that's
Okay, how dare you
presumptuous.
not read all your comments, Kraut?
I sometimes get really stupid ones.
You mean like the Nazi accusations?
The Nazi accusations can get really. I had one guy who seriously turned up and said, "You shouldn't be doing what you're doing because what you're doing, you should be prosecuted." This was a German guy, by the way. You should be prosecuted for what you're doing because what you're doing is not free speech; it's stupid speech.
Wow.
That was
Stupid
his.
speech.
So he didn't even take the hate speech angle. He just called it stupid. Therefore, you should be a criminal for it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hashtag stupid speech.
So on a scale of 1 to 10, Germany is like a 14 on the cuck scale.
But that's pretty German of him. I mean, he wants to prosecute you immediately.
Most Germans who turn up share the kind of attitude that I have, but I'll just say it like this: when the entire Amazing Atheist thing went down, a lot of his subscribers at least had a great sense of humor and were very forthcoming, but the German subscribers of his, morons. From top to bottom, all of them, morons. You're a Nazi, you're evil, you should be prosecuted. Meh, meh, meh.
It's like reverse Nazism going on. Like they're so concerned about not being viewed as a Nazi that they just it's like the same kind of behavior but just the inverse of it, like policing potential Nazis. Because I guess caring about your country and your culture and everything makes you a Nazi.
Hey Fritz, I am so scared the Nazis will come back. I have a great idea,
Hey,
Thomas. We
Edgy,
will
have you
just
been watching
become
The Greatest
Nazis
Story Never
again.
Told Again? Edgy, have you been watching The Greatest Story Never Told Again?
Yes, I just watched it for the 7th time today, actually.
Fucking
Oh,
binge
that-
watch that shit, dog.
That's not available in Germany.
No, isn't it?
Yeah, how many federal crimes would that be if you were found with the greatest story never told in Germany?
Let me think. 1, 2, 3. I think we would be breaking 3 or 4 laws or something.
Yeah, but in Germany, isn't a crime like that? I mean, it's a major crime, but you're gonna get like what, 2, maybe 3 years?
Well, no, for Holocaust denial, you could end up in prison for 12 years.
Isn't that
Jesus.
how long you end up in prison for murder in Germany?
Murder is 25 to life, depending
Okay,
on the
so
severity.
it's not Germany then. It must be Sweden or one of these other countries that I've read so much about recently. But I found out their sentencing laws were extremely lax. It's like, oh yeah, if you commit an armed burglary and you kill someone in this country, it's like 15 years. I'm like, yeah, they throw you under the jail here. You're just probably never going home. Like, get comfortable.
Weirdest one is Switzerland. How do you call it when you commit a crime, but it has been so long ago that that you're no longer prosecuted for it? How do you call that? What's the English word for that?
Oh,
Double jeopardy.
no,
Double
that's
Or,
different.
or no, statute of limitations, maybe?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
statute of limitations.
Murder is a crime that has no statute of limitations anywhere in the world, except Switzerland. If you commit a murder in Switzerland and nobody catches you for 20 years, you can no longer be prosecuted there.
Well, that person couldn't have been that important. Let's be honest.
The Swiss are generally weird. It's the only country in the world that doesn't extradite any of its citizens. Any. If you have a Swiss passport and you're in Switzerland, you'll never get extradited.
Didn't they cooperate to set up Roman Polanski?
I don't know. I'm not sure.
He recently got arrested, but I think it was because the Swiss government tipped off another government that he was going to leave for one of the rare times ever, and they were like, nab him. We're tired of
When
being...
you talk about the Swiss government, remember there's no such thing as the Swiss government. It's a confederacy. It's like every state, if anything, a state tipped off another country. Because the federal government in Switzerland, it's literally powerless. All it can do is propose a bill, but once a bill is proposed, it has to be put to a national referendum.
Oh, that sounds like a great place to work. Just
That's what a
spitballing
lot of
and throwing shit against the wall till something sticks.
That's what a lot of people are pushing for here, funnily enough.
Confederacy.
Yeah. Well, I guess states' rights to a point. Stronger states' rights, weaker federal government rights.
If
We'll
you
get to that
consider
eventually.
if you consider that until 1979, women who got pregnant before marriage were forcefully sterilized by the state, or that, yeah.
Fuck off. You're serious.
Yeah, that's what happened in Switzerland. Sex before marriage was a criminal offense until 1989 or something. So it's not exactly. Yeah, the thing about
No wonder they feel so fucking guilty.
the Swiss,
Yeah.
no, they don't feel guilty about anything. It's just that when you have a confederacy. By the way, Switzerland is the only fucking functioning confederacy in the world, the only one that ever worked. You just get this weird thing where you get a state like Uriel, because all the states have so much power. Uriel has no separation between church and state. It's an officially Catholic state. And then you have states like Geneva where heroin is legal. That's awesome.
I mean, that's the funny thing about illicit substances being legal is that, you know, they stop being fun when they're legal. Nobody cares about them for some reason.
Yeah, that's the thing about Switzerland. You get the. Imagine if Seattle were an independent state. What kind of insanity would be going on there? You know, you get these weird centers of. Imagine if Mississippi had the power of an independent state. You get, and that's what it's like in Switzerland. You get places that are really right wing and have all of these independent powers, and then you get places that are really left wing and have all these independent powers. And the result is occasionally some instances of absolute madness.
I mean, it sounds like it works pretty well for them overall.
Yeah, it does. Because in the end, most states are not insane over there.
That
The
does
people
help.
are nice. It's a hard-working country, hard-working people.
So it's okay. So how much do you fear prosecution by the German government? Would those fears increase if the EU formed a European superstate, and something else I can't
Oh,
pronounce?
it's
Go
going to happen. It's going to happen. I guarantee you. It's going to happen. Sooner or later, one of my fellow citizens is going to watch one of my videos and decide to file a court case.
Yeah, that's not going to be fun, but
It's not going to be fun, but I already know what I'm going to do. I'm going to leave the country should that happen.
I cannot
that
blame you.
worked out.
Honestly, Kraut, you know, you should get out of there while you still can, you know, because I think we would all hate to see something like that happen to you, you know. You should come to the States or something.
No. So far I'm staying here. I might actually take it to court. I mean, should someone really just dox me and take me to court, I might actually pull it through. Because I do actually care about that issue.
Yeah, well, do you think what you've done on your channel would constitute a breaking of the law in your country?
Yeah.
Ah, lovely.
Well, I'm not sure if it would constitute breaking of the law, but the hate speech laws are so vaguely defined that pretty much anyone could take anyone to court over anything.
So it would at least end up in court, and then. So how confident are you that you would win if that did happen?
Very confident.
Yeah, does the German court system have a pre-trial phase wherein they decide whether this is even a crime that has been committed?
Yep, they do.
All right. Well, then I imagine they won't make it past that portion.
Here's the thing. If I would take the Quran and take it to a German court system, I could actually build a case for hate speech to get it banned in Germany. That's how vague the hate speech laws are here.
That'd be awesome.
It literally says in the law, insult or maliciously malign upon the human dignity of a person on the basis of race, ethnicity, or religion. So what the fuck does that even mean?
Well, it certainly does that.
Yeah, but we can't ban that. It's a beautiful book. It's a piece of history. Come on.
It inspired so many great things.
Beautiful jihad. I guess. Oh, so they want to know which country you would go to, Kraut.
The UK probably.
And how long do you think that would last?
I'm probably going to the UK anyway in a few years' time. So, yeah, just to live there. I mean, my girlfriend lives there, and German is a tough language to learn, so guess I'm ending up in the UK.
Are there a lot of Germans who only speak German? Like, is English not common there, or?
Yeah, I mean, you have to start learning English at the age of 7 in school, and I mean, I had an English dad, so I had that. And I think you have to learn a third language at school age of 12, which is either French or Spanish. And then if you continue school, you know, if you take the high school route into university diploma level, you have to expand knowledge of the third language, meaning you have to... There are two options. Either you choose to expand knowledge of your third language, meaning you learn how to speak it more professionally, or you take a fourth language, which is then either Russian, or depending on what state you live in, it could be anything from Chinese to basic Japanese to all sorts of things.
Damn.
Yeah.
Hey, what do you call someone who speaks multiple languages?
Bilingual.
What do you call someone who speaks only one
multilingual.
language? Yeah, but
Multilingual.
what do you call someone who speaks only one language?
I guess lingual would be the word because I'm bilingual.
American.
Americans can barely even speak English, to be fair.
Seriously.
Yeah. Yeah, just everything Kraut just said makes me feel really, really uneducated.
Europeans are extremely educated. I can't. I've tried to learn Spanish, and it was an utter failure.
I can if I've listened to two Spanish speakers having a conversation, I can usually pick out what they're talking about, but I can't join in. I don't remember enough.
I sometimes understand what French people are talking about, but it often also flows over my head. and the weirdest thing is I understand Afrikaans and a bit of Dutch because it's similar languages.
Yeah, because it's quite close.
By the way, the South African guy, I need to get him on a stream one of these weeks to talk about South Africa and how everything is going to shit down there.
Which one?
I don't know what's his fucking. I think his name is Adam the Apple or something.
Not familiar with that.
What's going on in South Africa?
SJW shit.
Probably the
SJW
white man's
shit.
fault.
They've been infected with the SJW virus in the past.
Hilarious. Yeah, it's hilarious to watch in South Africa. I'm not gonna lie, where they're like mad at statues and shit. I'm like, there are people in your country still like regularly without drinking water and shit, and you guys are standing around yelling about the Statue of Rhodes. Really? That seems a little.
It's scary.
Oh boy.
It's scary when you think of it because
Yeah.
they are the majority in South Africa.
Yeah. Well.
Well, I mean, haven't there been actual cases of like mob violence against
Of course.
the Boer people down there?
White South Africans, go out. You need to leave.
You know what the funniest thing about all of this is? The African countries that are currently having some economic success, which are growing, the ones who are finally figuring out how to fucking get things done, are desperately trying to import white people.
Yeah, did you hear about Zimbabwe?
Yeah, Ethiopia has a Armenian minority now.
Yeah, but in Zimbabwe, they were like snatching all the land from white farmers, and now they're like, please just come back and just.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
they caused the famine. They caused the famine because
It was only a matter of a few years too. Like Mugabe kicked out all the white people basically, and then the country went to shit, and within like a couple of years, and now he's like begging them to come back.
Please, just come back and help run the farms. It's like with no irony asking that to happen. We're like, oh.
White man, save us.
The best thing is probably Botswana right now in Africa.
Yeah.
Because they really fucking figured it out. They're essentially trying to be the Switzerland of Africa. Low taxes, engineering sectors, getting in the best engineers from all across the world, giving them major grants and shit like that. So they're probably going to end up on top, even though they're a small country.
Oh, before I forget, I meant to ask this a minute ago, but have you seen the new European Commission hate speech rules for social media, Kraut?
Yep.
What do you think of that?
I already made a video on it, but I'm going to publish it in like 2 days or something.
Does it change much of anything in Germany, or?
No, we already have it in Germany, but it's going to essentially, it's an attempt to enforce the German standards of hate speech onto the rest of Europe.
Ugh.
Oh boy.
At least on the internet. Because there are some countries here, you know, that have less strict hate speech laws, like Croatia, Italy, Hungary, to a certain extent the Czech Republic and Spain. And this is essentially an attempt by Germany and France to enforce this shit on the rest of them.
I really hope Brexit succeeds, because you just need that first domino to fall, and then everyone else will start saying we want out too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Also,
like
for
this.
Back to the chat, I think Esau is asking us about the LA riots going on right now.
What?
The LA riots going on?
Yeah, they're calling them protests, but you know,
Of course they are.
Convenient protests.
Peaceful protests.
I believe the last one they called a protest had people throwing flaming objects at police officers, so you know.
Yeah, if I Google LA riots, I get the 1992 LA riots.
Yeah.
So what would I Google to find these protests?
LA protests, Trump rally protests is another way, because they like to just tag Trump protests and make it seem like his people are the ones doing it.
Can California just fall into the ocean already, please? Like.
We can only hope, frankly. Trust me, as someone who has to deal with these people on a regular basis, the world is a better place without Californians. Just trust me.
Are you in California, Hagbard?
I am not.
No.
I am not. Nope. And we hate them, and they hate us. When they see our license plate, they flick us off, and it's vice versa. Californians are a plague.
I like, we can get to that back to that in a sec, but I like this comment that, do you find it sad that in 50 years or so, Argentina may be the last outpost of German culture? That's awesome.
So if I type LA protests into Google, my autocomplete results are LA protests today, upcoming protests. Like, it seems like the search terms are skewed towards people who are like looking forward to them, like trying to go to them. Fuck California.
So it's and just to clarify, it's people protesting against Trump? Or
Yes.
is it Trump? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because here's the thing: is
Isn't it always?
are you American, Nightmare, or are you Canadian?
Do I sound Canadian? I'm American.
Oh, well, I wasn't sure because. I don't know.
Holy shit, I'm laughing my ass off over here. Did you just ask him if he's Canadian?
well, I mean, I don't know. It just seems like. Hey,
Awesome.
sorry, bud.
Well, he's from the region of America that may as well be Canada, so yes, he's Canadian.
That's true. Oh, you hoser.
Oh yeah, hosers.
The reason I asked is it just seemed like an odd question to ask if it's people protesting Trump or not, because I mean that's the thing, is like the media in the U.S. always tries to portray it as like, oh, Trump is causing the violence, the Trump supporters are causing the violence, but for the most part, the Trump supporters are just trying to go to the event, and all the regressive shits show up and just try to disrupt and impede the event, and that's what ultimately causes the violence. Like, you don't see Trump supporters going to Bernie rallies and doing this, or going to Hillary rallies and doing this.
Doesn't happen.
At all. Like, literally not at all.
Yeah. Pretty much. I think I'm going to drop out and go to sleep. It's fucking 7 in the morning and I haven't fucking
Yeah.
finished the video yet.
Yeah, you sound
Alright.
tired.
Yeah.
Thanks for
Edgy,
coming
I'll
in,
send
man.
you on Skype and to Hagbard as well a clip. The video, I'm going to publish it in 2 days.
All right, sounds good.
Nice. Thanks,
And
dude.
you can tell me if it's okay. Okay, I'll see you guys tomorrow again. Bye. And thanks
Right.
for having me on.
Take it easy.
Absolutely.
Thanks
Yeah,
very
good one,
much.
Kraut.
Later,
You
Kraut.
too. See you.
And there goes our audience.
What a nice man.
Kraut's just the worst. Such a Nazi.
Well, actually, when I jumped in, you only had like 30, and we have 46 right now.
Who are all these people? Who are you?
Now we have to be as sexually appealing and entertaining as Kraut.
Yeah, that's
Do
true.
do you think the three of us combined can manage that?
I really don't think so. See, Kraut doesn't even. Kraut's never even appeared on camera. Can you imagine how many panties would drop if that happened? Shit.
Well, does anyone know what he looks like, or has he ever done a face reveal?
I don't care. No matter what he looks like, his body will match the sexiness of his voice. It's undeniable.
It's just not fair, man. Like I'm in my 20s, and everyone always tells me I sound like a fucking teenager, because I do.
Yeah, no, Kraut's a man. Kraut's got the voice of a man.
Yeah,
Shakes the mountains.
he's like a cartoon character of like a perfect Ubermensch. Like it's just
He
not,
has one of those voices. It's kind of like what I think about Naked Ape. Like they have these voices where it feels like they're always being recorded.
Yeah, I mean that's the weird thing is Naked Ape always says that he hates his voice, and I don't understand it because it suits his presentation style so well, and you know, like it suits the avatar he uses. Like that. See that's the insecurity I have is I feel like my voice doesn't suit my avatar. Kraut's voice suits his avatar. Ape's
You
voice.
tell me you don't think you sound like the Sphinx? Come on.
You did come in here, and I was kind of like, wait, this is. I'm not sure what's going on now. I just kind of assumed you were Egyptian, but that's me.
I'm half, yeah.
Only half. You need to find your other half.
Yeah, my dad came to the U.S. and married a white woman.
White.
A white woman.
Well,
Yeah, so
statistically speaking.
what's that?
I said, yeah, well, just statistically speaking, it was bound to be a white woman.
Mm-hmm.
So racist. Always going for the privileged upper class.
Yeah, Hagbard, when are you just going to admit that you're a white nationalist already? Like, we can all feel it. We can sense it. Like,
It would be nice because at least then I'd have a group that just supported me for a label, and maybe it just
just blind, just a blind army of alt-right supporters.
At least I would have that, and the meats could send me money. I mean, that would be okay.
Send you their autism bucks.
Autism bucks.
Exactly.
Oh my god.
Fuck.
Hashtag autism bucks.
No, I've joked with people. The reason I can't believe in anything like that is that I've been to Walmart.
People
man.
get mad and say, "Oh, you're a racist," because I've been critical of the Muslim community lately and the black community. It's like you do understand I don't like white people, right? Like I've been to Walmart, I've been to the state fair. I'm not a fan of white people. I'm not a fan of any people.
in an
really.
area where the state fair is still a thing. That's all I'm saying.
Yes,
Hey,
that's
you
all
know
you
what?
need to know.
You know
That's
what?
white. That's
You know-
white. That's all I'm saying is that's white.
You know what? To be fair, though, the last time I was in Florida, I was in Broward County, Florida, which is like a very predominantly black community. And when I went to the Walmart there to get groceries and shit, I think that was the most black people I've ever seen in one place. So it really depends where you are.
Oh, of course.
Around here,
Black
though,
Walmart.
in like exurban Chicagoland, like, you know, like more than an hour from the city, it's just white people everywhere. But at least I'm not in
Well,
Chicago getting shot at.
in my area of Florida, we used to actually have designated, like, this was the area that was predominantly the white Walmart, and this was predominantly the black Walmart.
Segregated
It was
Walmarts.
like malls. It was like malls. This was the black mall. And it's like, it's just a fact of life. It wasn't intentional. It's just how it happened.
Well, yeah, I mean, you know, to some degree, people do have a sort of automatic in-group preference, you know, whether we like it or not. Like, you know, like think back to high school, you know, and there was always like the lunch table that all the Asian kids sat at, and the lunch table that all the black kids sat at, and you know, it wasn't because everybody hated each other. It just kind of happened that way.
Sure, a lot of racial minorities segregate themselves. As uncomfortable as that makes us feel, or some people at the very least.
I mean, I don't necessarily think it, you know, as long as there's no animosity there, you know, I don't think it should necessarily be uncomfortable, or it doesn't have to be, you know.
Sure. Yeah, no. Oh, so Hagbard, if you've the time, would you care to more thoroughly elaborate on your position regarding out of Africa theory versus MRE theory?
Ooh, this should be good.
Steven's still here.
Oh, I'd be willing to look further into it and give my theory on it, but not right here, right now. No, they just utilize concentrates in my state. I'm on here for kicks. I'm way too high. But yeah,
it's funny.
I'll look further into it and present my statements in a video at some point. Sure.
I was reading a comment. This guy was really butthurt, and he said he was going to unsubscribe from us because we made fun of Gavin McGinnis once. He was like, you know, I was really supporting you guys, but you went after my hero. It's like, okay, we don't want you. Bye.
It's not my sacred cow. Yeah, that's against
We
my.
we literally go after everyone. Fuck off.
Yeah, that's my whole motto. Is as soon as I hear, oh, not my sacred cow. No, fuck off. Especially your sacred cow.
Not anyone but my prophet.
Yeah, you know, it's so bizarre when you have a subscriber who just like out of the blue is like, I didn't like something you said in this video. I didn't like this podcast you did, so I'm unsubbing. It's like, what, you expect me to just agree with you 100% of the time? Like,
yes, pretty much.
No, you expect me to know what you want to hear and always fulfill that? Like, fuck off. You know, that's the thing. The thing that really bothers me about it is like, if you would or could call this a community of, like, you know, somewhat like-minded people, in the sense that we're against the whole like collectivist like SJW nonsense, you know, it's like, why would you want to think that way and just be like, no, we all have to agree all the time on everything? Doesn't it kind of defeat the purpose of what we're trying to do here? You know.
That is an interesting point to make, because I think at some point you become so anti-SJW, you pretty much become one. You mirror what you were fighting against.
Yeah, you become like the. I don't know. It's just Liz Reptile and Robin Gething tried to start a hashtag message to skeptics thing, like similar to the message to feminists thing, and it didn't take off. You know, it seems like
really?
Yeah, it seems like nobody wants to hear it. Like, nobody wants to be a little introspective and be like, you know, like look at ourselves and at each other and be like, what could we be doing better? You know, like, yeah, you know, attack helicopter and you know, and I'm triggered and, you know, all our dank memes and stuff, but you know, like come on, guys. You know.
A little embarrassing. It can be fun and whatever, but it's kind of like, yeah. At a certain point, here's an example. I'm wondering what you think of this Sphinx. A lot of people in the anti-regressive, anti-SJW community are now perpetuating the idea of a rape culture in public bathrooms done by child molesters. They're acting like we have an epidemic of child molestation in America in the
Yeah,
public restroom.
it's. I was really disappointed to see Steven Crowder doing that, and I'm trying to think of who else. I can't remember anyone else off the top of my head, but Crowder did that whole on the parody of Schoolhouse Rock, where he was making fun of that whole issue, and I mean, not only was it not very funny, but the points he made were just kind of asinine, because it's like, okay, so you're going to go with this narrative of, oh, well, you don't want a grown man in the bathroom with your little girl, do you? Like, you're gonna go with this. This is literally a feminist talking point of, like, men are scary and bad and dangerous, and they're going to rape your daughter, or they're going to rape women, or whatever. Men are all vicious rape monsters. This is literally a feminist talking point, and we're seeing people adopt that just so they can be against the transgender bathroom thing. And I feel like this is finally starting to die down a little bit. But a couple weeks ago, Vernaculus did a video on this, and the response he got totally proved his point, because he had people, once again with the whole he had subscribers coming out of the woodwork being like, how dare you, disagree with me on this, and I thought you were better than this, Vernaculus, and just like, like literally saying these kinds of things to him, and it's like, what?
I did see that video.
So you expect this extremely anti-feminist person, who, and he really does seem to try to be like consistent and everything. So it's like you expect this anti-feminist guy to just adopt this feminist talking point just to be against the transgender people and against the SJWs. Like, you can be in the middle sometimes and be consistent with your other positions.
Yeah, absolutely. And that does show a very scary, stick to the rules dogmatism in our own communities that we should frown on. And the thing is, like,
exactly.
You always see the regular characters come out when this kind of debate happens. Like, I'm not surprised at the religious bigots. Like, I'm not even mad at them. I excuse them. I give them the benefit of the doubt. I don't have expectations of them.
Right.
The people I'm mad at are the people who are supposedly on my side, and now I'm beginning to see more and more. Maybe not as much as I thought.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's we're starting to see a divide, like a rift forming between people who are actually trying to be skeptical and be objective, and people who just want to be against the SJWs and just want to, I triggered you and all that stuff.
Yeah,
like,
I don't appreciate that, because it makes us all look like that, and I think that's awful, because it's
right.
not become a terrible human being to combat these people. As a matter of fact, if you look like the good guy, your arguments even work better.
Right. Yeah, that's a great point too. Like,
if you don't look like you're literally just being a dick, like, I'm sarcastic. A lot of people get that, so it works. But if you're just being a dick, it's not going to get your point across. No one wants to hear it.
Yeah, I'm not here for that.
Yeah, I mean, a perfect example of this is the whole Milo Stewart thing. The all cis people are transphobic video that by now everyone and their mother has responded to it. That was actually my first video that I ever did, was a response to that. It's a shitty video. Don't watch it. But a couple weeks later, The Amazing Atheist did his response to it, and that was literally all he did, was just call names and make fun of the kid's identity and everything, and it's not that I'm particularly upset about that. It's just like, think about how this makes quote unquote our side of this look. You just look like an asshole. You're not making logical arguments, and you're just calling names and not really making any logical points. And so then this other guy, ContraPoints, formerly known as Nicotine2, he used to have a much bigger channel a couple years ago, and he's back on YouTube now. He's not a bad guy, but ContraPoints made a response to The Amazing Atheist, pointing all of this out, how TJ was basically just being an asshole to Milo Stewart. But the problem I had with ContraPoints' video was that he used The Amazing Atheist as sort of a case study to then extrapolate and say, this is what the anti-SJW community is like. Look at them. They're bullies, and like, look at how they treat people. And then, I did a response to ContraPoints, and I was like, well, we're not all like, most of us aren't like this, because he fixated on The Amazing Atheist, but then also mentioned like a bunch of other big names like Teal Deer and Sargon and Shoe on Head and Bearing and all these other big channels, but didn't give any examples of them doing stuff like that. And I was just kind of like, okay, well, if you want to criticize TJ for doing that, that's fine, but don't go and say the rest of us are like that,
Absolutely.
And he actually, part of the reason why I even bothered responding to ContraPoints is because he actually picked my channel out by name and called me a disciple of Sargon and said that I was, basically implied that I was like a copycat.
Yeah, that was so bad, dude. I'm like, that's not fair. 'Cause they're both historical figures, quote unquote, because you're so retarded you think the Sphinx is a historical figure?
Yeah, it's a fucking statue.
Fucking mentally retarded bastard.
I mean, and that was what I said in my response to him. I was like, you could have, if you're going to accuse me of ripping someone off, you could at least pick someone who makes a little bit of sense. And then I showed the Pharaoh's channel, because that would actually make sense if he had accused me of that.
Oh my, that's just awful.
Yeah, but, and this was when I had like 50 subscribers, so he was just like, oh, look at this stupid idiot copying Sargon. And then like a few weeks later, I have like half as many subs as he does.
Oh shit, coming for you, motherfucker.
I'm coming for that booty, ContraPoints.
To get back to a point we were discussing earlier, I got a lot of flack for talking about the bathroom thing, but like I have had many people approach me, including Blair White, including other people. Like I don't think people are aware that there are transgenders who are anti-SJW.
Oh, there's a lot of them. There's a surprising number of them.
Yeah, because they feel they don't like being babied and coddled by the social justice movement, understandably. And so, and I want them to come to our side, but I think people would rather be coddled than be treated like shit. We need to offer a better alternative in our own community.
Yeah, I mean, the thing I find interesting about Blair is like, she reminds me of most of the trans people I've met in real life, in the sense that she doesn't like seem to make a huge thing out of like, oh well, I'm trans this and I'm trans that. Like she just kind of, well, most of the trans people I've met in real life, just went through their transition and now they live as the sex that they desired to be, and that's that. They just get on with their life, like, and they don't make a big thing out of it. Like whereas someone like Milo Stewart goes out of her way to identify as trans and constantly remind people that like this is my identity and this is like this is everything about me. And like really I think that's the difference, is those are the people who want to be babied and want to be a special snowflake about it.
Mm-hmm. And the important difference to make here is I take issue with anyone who finds most of their identity in just something they were born with. I don't specifically harp on about trans people who do it. I would have a problem with someone if they did this with their race or their sexual preference or their gender or anything. And I think that as a community we need to be more consistent on that. The problem isn't people identifying like putting an extreme emphasis on their transness. It's for us to look at the underlying issue and say, you know what, it's just bad. Identity politics is bad all around.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I mean that's the kind of shit that like gets communities put under. Like that's if that's not addressed, I don't see how far this can stretch before it completely snaps.
Yeah, I mean, people just need to recognize that if we're supposed to be against these collectivist mindsets and against this identity politics bullshit, we can't just identify as like, oh well, we're anti-SJWs or we're pro this or anti that or whatever. We have a lot of diversity of opinion in this community, You know, there are left-wing people, there are right-wing people, there are people who are totally outside of that spectrum. And you know, I find myself, like in the shit lab, I find myself disagreeing with people all the time, and that's fine. You know, there's nothing wrong with that.
There's room for disagreement, but I personally don't have room for just outright just bigotry and discrimination, and like that's where I'm kind of like, you know what, I am not associating with you because you actively make me look bad. You're the reason people don't like us. Just stop.
Yeah.
I guess I'm trying to. They wanted me to check Twitter, but it's not working at the moment. Reese, what are your views on the bathroom trans thing? I've not heard your video on it. I've done like a fucking million videos on it at this point. I think it's the most non-issue of all time. Started by some fucking hillbillies in South Carolina. I'm a hillbilly though, so I can say that. But like, it's an issue that was risen out of nothing, and the reason it's given so much credence is because we have so much anti-male bigotry in this country. And there is this assumption that men will just go in the bathroom and rape people. And also because a lot of people don't care about transgenders, and they're like the one group you can still shit on. But, I mean, like, it's a non-issue. We're going to look back on it in a couple decades and, like, just facepalm. Yeah, it should just end. It's a waste of everyone's time.
Yeah, I mean, it really is amazingly stupid because, I mean, this is a point that I've heard a lot of other people raise, so I'm not going to pretend like I thought of this or anything, but if you're so concerned about little girls being molested by men in bathrooms, what about the little boys who have been using the same bathrooms as men for decades, for a very long time?
That's exactly it. They don't care about them. It's such outright hypocrisy.
Yeah, it's just incredible, and it's really disappointing to see people on, you know, our so-called our side buying into that shit. You know, when it's supposed to be, it's everything they claim to be against, and yet when they think they can use it to trigger people, they'll go along with it.
Yeah, it really is something else. I don't really know.
It's an enforceability issue as well.
Yeah, that's true.
For failure, there's no way to enforce a gender check before you enter a bathroom. It's just
they've proposed some shit. They've proposed some genital checks.
Oh God, yeah. I mean, if you're gonna have, if you have the manpower to put a guard outside of every bathroom in every building everywhere, then yeah, you know, have at it. But it's just not a real thing. It's not a reality. You know, it's not something that can be done. So, like, why even go there? I mean, why wasn't this a problem before? You know, before someone decided it was a problem. Like, where is this epidemic of bathroom rapes that are allegedly happening? Like,
it doesn't exist. I really am curious what sparked this off, because I think it might have been people like proposing, maybe proposing like a third bathroom option, which is also a really strange idea, and very costly and not very like come on, just we already have bathrooms. And then I guess enough people just threw a little tantrum about it, like, this is immoral, this is an abomination.
I mean, as it stood, you know, the way things were before this North Carolina law, you know, private businesses could handle it however they wanted. If they wanted to have 3 bathrooms, they could do that. If they wanted to have just 1, they could do that. You know, it was. I see it as basically the same kind of problem as like a smoking ban, for instance. In New York City, before they instituted their smoking ban, there were like 20,000 privately owned establishments in New York City that banned smoking in their establishments of their own free will. So, you know, before the smoking ban, people had the choice of like, do I want to go to a smoking establishment or a non-smoking establishment? Now you don't have a choice because they're all non-smoking by fiat. So that's really the difference that I'm seeing, is like, you can either let people decide for themselves, or you can put a gun to their head and say you have to do it this way.
Yeah, and I'm kind of getting tired of the latter.
More guns to heads. Bigger guns, too. What do you think about, so this just came up, what do you think about ending bathroom segregation in general and just having one bathroom?
Yeah, I couldn't possibly care less. I'm fine with whatever, as long as I've got a place to piss.
Yeah, I mean, they already have
Yeah.
two existing, so I'm okay with that continuing as well, but I mean, I wouldn't mind if everyone had stalls.
Yeah, I mean, I don't particularly care, but, you know, I don't want to repeat myself too much, but, you know, I basically just see it as like, let establishments choose for themselves. You know, if a business owner wants to do that and say, okay, we only have one bathroom for whoever needs it, then they should be able to do that, you know, but I don't think anyone should be forced to do anything.
This came up, we had a chat like maybe I think like last week, and Blair showed up and Naked Ape showed up, but it came up that like, why is there gender segregation in bathrooms that are just one room with one
Yeah.
toilet? It's like, okay, wow, that is really, yeah, that's a waste of money. That's really bad.
I think it's just this, you know, it's just like this weird like cultural custom that we've had for so long. You know, I guess it's probably hard for some people to imagine not having it that way, which is understandable because people tend not to like change.
Yeah, they really don't. People are very scared of anything changing. I've noticed. It's not hard to notice. Not a unique observation, but I don't know. Like, to talk to, just go interview a random person. They probably do the same thing every day. They have like this little routine down, and if one thing went awry, I can almost guarantee it would like flip them out and just piss them off. And it would be like the one thing that they focused on. Like one little thing could ruin someone's day. That's a little
Oh yeah,
amusing.
definitely.
First world problems all the way. Let's see what else is going on here. I guess they were asking if we saw Undoomed and Bearings videos that came out today. I did not. I'm not sure what those were about.
No, I didn't see it either.
Yeah, I did. They were both about that kid that there was a kid that basically made a video about an actual child, like a 12-year-old, and assaulted his ideas. This 12-year-old anti-feminist kid, and some other kid basically made a video about him, and I guess one of them was older than the other, and they were basically shaming him about it, about having attacked a child.
I'll
Interesting.
be right back, guys. My dog wants to go outside.
Fair enough. Gotta let dogs out. Who let the dogs out? So
Yeah.
what's
Yeah,
been up, Hagbard?
it was pretty silly on every front, and then he made like a whole apology video. I'm not entirely sold he didn't do it almost just to get attention. Because he dropped like Undoom's picture in it twice, I think.
Yeah, I mean, if you know that, that is striking. A lot of people who get targeted don't make follow-up videos, do they? It's kind of a rare thing.
No, most of them quit, so it's kind of interesting when you see them do that follow-up, because it usually means that they're, yeah.
It reminded me of, remember that one blonde kid with the glasses who made the feminist video?
Yeah.
And then he made his follow-up. He's like, "Oh, this has just inspired me to educate you."
That's amazing.
Oh
Yeah, at
my
least
god.
when I first saw it, I was like, dude, at least like the two times I did videos on people under 18, they were close. And one of them, the entire point of the video was, this is her school project, and I found that disturbing, that at 16 you're already being taught a school project about this. I find that unnerving.
Yes.
But then,
That's
like, you know,
worthy of
I've had
criticizing.
kids token that even Dr. Randomer Cam has made. No, you get out of the way. This isn't about you. This is about the adults in this video that are making you do this, like the Australian commercial. I mean, you don't shame tactic a child. That's weird.
Yeah. Well, you've said in videos before that you have no problem with criticizing children.
Yeah, yeah. Well, it's just there's certain things. It's like there is a different set of expectations going into the criticism. I'm not gonna not criticize or make fun of a 9-year-old Nazi just because I think it's hilarious. Honestly, I would think that's funny at this point.
A young Avalian.
Yeah, a younger Avalian 2 years ago. I mean, but
Aw.
my issue was really the like they were saying, it's the method by which he did it, where he's basically just. It's clear this kid doesn't. This is like this kid's first video or some shit. He doesn't know what he's doing. I think now he has 600 plus subs, which is hilarious.
So wait, and he's 12, like for sure.
Yeah, something like that. He's 12 or 13. I don't remember.
I'm pretty sure he would need a parent's permission to put videos on YouTube. I don't know if he has gotten that though.
Just lie and click the button that says you're 13.
Yeah, it's not a well set up system,
No,
is it?
it's like the porn websites. Are you 18? Click yes or no to continue.
Yes. Yeah, everyone's a liar on the internet. But did you agree? Read the terms of service and click agree. Agree.
Exactly.
Ain't nobody got time for that shit. I certainly do. I've never read one of those. Has anyone here ever read one of those? Anyone in the chat? I want to meet that person. That person was such a sad existence. They read the entire terms of service.
Yeah, for a product that wasn't life-saving.
I don't think anyone has. Valiant is a babe. Yeah, I can see that. Sure. I don't know. I'm sure the Nazi thing is a fetish for somebody.
I'm sure the Nazi thing is a fetish for many people.
I wonder if there are like any Jewish guys that would like the oppression. No
Whoever sent
response.
me this tweet, abilities, +4 critical thought, +5 shit posting, +10 beard, 2 stone to navigate Adobe, so use your imagination. That's amazing. That is a great tweet.
Darnell just sent us it's Paris Marx in his feminist video when he's crying, he's making that really whiny face.
Oh yes, that was beautiful.
Hi there, I'm an anarcho-communist, and I want to talk to you about autism, bucks, and feminism.
Yeah.
Autism bucks. Oh Jesus, I've started something. Every day it seems like I'm starting a new terrible hashtag. Why is this a thing?
Seriously.
That kid has 2,600 subs now. The 12-year-old.
Whoa. That's blowing up, dog.
He has more subs than us. That's sad.
Nigga, close your account. You overdid it. You accidentally got internet famous at 12. Close that account.
Yeah, I'm sure he's not going to say anything that will reflect badly on him in the future. Yeah, you're in that weird place where you're like you're known, but you're not famous enough to get paid for this. So you're pretty much fucked.
Yeah, pretty much. This is the time period where you just kind of have to keep going.
Paris Marx is coming up in the chat. Ugh, gross.
Paris is a funny motherfucker. I can't believe he was a real person.
He is a real person. We should watch more of his videos.
Like a communist attic. I think that's great. He looks like he's in a Soviet bloc somewhere.
I'm sure he goes through all the routines.
Yeah, I don't understand that kid.
He's something else, certainly. Communist feminist.
Hey,
Oh my god.
Nightmare, do you have like routine downvoters or something? You have 5 thumbs down on this video.
I don't understand that because we don't normally have that. Did Kraut bring haters? Why do we have 5 downvotes? Who is after us? Is it all the butthurt fans who don't like that we made fun of Gavin McGinnis once? Oh my god, you guys. So terrible. I know we normally get 1 downvote on every video. So we do have a routine stalker, but not normally 5. He must have brought friends.
I think we can survive 5 downvotes.
No, I need to stroke my ego some more. More upvotes.
More upvotes.
I'm the guy who sits there all day like I'm looking at the 5 downvotes and I'm like pulling out my hair. What did I do? What is this shit? What did I say?
Awesome. Yeah, no, the only time I actually usually just laugh because I'll find out stuff like I'll go back and watch or look at the comment section of the video I did on the 2 British feminist girls and just read some of those comments and be like, these human beings take this shit way too seriously.
Shit, we have 10 downvotes now. What did we do?
Oh, you mentioned the downvotes.
They're coming for us. Nah, they're just fucking with us. Fuck you guys. That's awesome. Jews, we're going to need a bigger oven. Now that sounds like something I learned from a Valiant.
I do think it's funny that people like alternatively hated her and then like were defending her hardcore. It's like you realize like one way or another this is not something to be taken that seriously, right?
Yeah, no. I'm pretty lukewarm to her, honestly. I watched her video and I didn't find it. I mean, a lot of people are acting like it was the most ridiculous thing they've ever seen. I've seen so much worse. That's nothing. And whatever. I'm glad that she's still around though. She's cool. I just don't side with her on anything.
Yeah, see, I was more coming at it from the angle of YouTube being inconsistent with their policies. I think Hagbard and I have talked about this a little bit on other streams. But basically, you know, someone like Ghazi Kodzo, Black Hitler, for instance, yeah, his channel is still up, and he's clearly in violation of the same policy that Evalian was in violation of.
Yeah.
And for me, it's not, you know, it's not about defending Evalian or her ideas or anything. It's more about just asking, you know, wanting YouTube to be consistent about it. It's like if you're going to have first of all, if you accept that hate speech is even a real thing, and if you're going to have a hate speech policy, then how can you make a universal statement like don't promote hatred against a particular race, don't advocate violence, you know, universal statements like that. How can you do that and then selectively ignore some of it, but then delete other people? You know, like basically where I'm coming at it from is like either Evalian's channel should have stayed up or Ghazi's channel should be gone too. You know?
Yeah, I'd prefer for them to both stay.
Yeah, I would tend to agree with you there, but the problem is that the fact that YouTube has this policy at all means that, you know, they're going to delete somebody. So if they're going to do that, then they should at least be consistent about it.
I agree, but again, I think the other guy, I don't remember who it was, but I think he brought up the fact that it also has to do with people actually, you know, telling on these guys. And, well, I'll go through all this shit. I'll watch 8, 9, 10 of these videos a day trying to find content, and I don't flag them.
Yeah, I mean,
no.
yeah, that was Robin who brought that up, the guy from the open house. And you know, it is a good point to a certain degree, but if you go look at Black Hitler's channel, some of those videos have thousands of downvotes, like 2-to-1 dislike to like ratio. So I just find it a little hard to believe that nobody reported any
maybe
of his.
YouTube is racist, and they know, they feel like he's just a black man. He can't do anything. Come on.
I mean, that's kind of the vibe that I'm getting from it, because his Facebook page stays up, and people definitely report stuff on Facebook. Facebook is like butthurt central. People report anything they don't like on Facebook, whether it's actually in violation of the policies or not. So, I just find it difficult to believe that only one of these, if it's between Evalian and Black Hitler, I find it really hard to believe that Black Hitler doesn't get reported at all. Somebody's reporting him.
Yeah, I think people were saying, like, what would you think if there was a similar movement to do that to Black Hitler's channel? And I wouldn't be in favor of that, honestly. Even to prove a point, I think that it's important to stay better than that.
Yeah, I mean, in principle, I would agree with you, but at the same time, I would love to actually test, think of it as sort of like a shit test for YouTube of, like, are you actually going to enforce this policy equitably? Just to,
Sure.
Sort of in like a just to see what would happen kind of way. Not because I actually agree with his channel getting taken down. But by the same token, a lot of the stuff on our channels could be called hate speech under their definition, because it's a pretty elastic definition. The term itself is pretty elastic.
That is scary. I need to look at that particular YouTube rule, but it does worry me when it comes to putting content up in the future, what limitations could be forced upon us.
And then something else I've been thinking about, I mentioned those EU guidelines to Kraut earlier, and something I'm wondering about is, like, let's say I make a video as an American, and YouTube is an American service, but let's say someone in the EU watches my video and it violates that hate speech policy. Could my video be taken down because YouTube wants to comply with that policy, like in the context of the EU?
YouTube's better than that. They actually just they censor the video per country. They do that for copyright. They do that for all kinds of stuff. So I imagine they can do that if you violate a country's laws.
Right. Okay. Yeah. That does make sense. I always forget about that.
Some of the videos I make apparently are all blocked in Germany because I use copyrighted music.
What music do you use, Hagbard? I didn't know you use music.
Yeah, I use classical pieces in the background.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, some of those apparently, I could get all of the copyright stuff removed from them simply by showing the website I got them from and the claims certificate that they have. But as I don't monetize it, I don't really care.
See,
of course, that triggers Germany. I mean, they used to make the best music in the world, and what the fuck are they doing now?
Here's YouTube's hate speech policy.
Okay.
I mean, it seems pretty cut and dry just glancing at it, but for example, what's to stop a feminist from saying, oh, well, if you're making anti-feminist content or if you're criticizing feminism, then you're, that's anti-woman content, and saying, oh, well, gender, it's anti-woman hate speech. Or, if someone's critical of Milo Stewart, which pretty much everyone was, what's stopping her from saying, oh, well, this is transphobia for criticizing me, so this is hate speech, She doesn't have the subscriber base to do what Onision did, but, I just remembered, there's this guy with a really small channel, what the fuck is the name of his channel? Polite But Critical is the guy's channel name, and he made a video about the Evalian thing, and he was coming at it from the angle of, like, where does it stop as far as Onision goes? Like, what's stopping Onision from just saying, I don't like this, I don't like that, and sicking his massive subscriber base on people? he came at it from the angle of like, first they came for the Jews and I didn't speak out because I was not a Jew, like that kind of line of thinking. And I think that's a valid point too, because there is a lot of automation in YouTube's system, and that could at least temporarily do damage to somebody's content if someone as big as Onision just decided, I don't like this person, go report all their stuff.
Yeah, it's way too automated. You know, given those rules that you just showed, I'm surprised that this isn't happening more at the moment, especially with the
Oh, it will happen more now.
with the religion thing. Like I would expect to see some of these bigger channels that talk about Islam get hit more. But I think that it's probably coming.
But yeah, my phone's down to 10%, so I'm gonna bounce, guys.
All right, Hagbard, you're cool, man.
Plug your phone in.
We'll talk soon. Yeah, geez, Hagbard, learn technology.
Charge your phone, you fucking cunt.
I'm going to. Jeez, you're not my dad.
Jeez, why don't you go to the Amish community, Hagbard?
You're my real dad.
Sphinx, are you his real dad?
I don't know. I could be.
That would be
Take
an
it easy,
interesting twist. All right, see you later, Hagbard.
Later. Wow, we actually we still have most of our audience here. 39.
Yeah, that's amazing. And it's been actually kind of growing a little bit. Fuck Hagbard, just the absolute worst. And like, do a show with that guy. Are you kidding me? No, I could barely do this.
Yeah.
What is your favorite far right Euro fag party? I don't know. I don't know what that means.
Probably the Front National in France. I believe that's what it's called. Whatever party is fronted by Marine Le Pen, because she's basically like a female French version of Trump. Like,
awesome.
Just pisses everyone off everywhere she goes.
I can get behind that to a certain extent. I like people who piss off others until they piss me off. then it's war.
Oh yeah, Hagbard left and we lost 2 people already.
All the Hagbard fangirls are out.
Yeah.
How dare people leave us? But yeah, I think I've seen some of your content, Sphinx. I'm sorry. I will try to catch up.
Oh no, don't worry about it, man. I'm a small channel, you know. I understand if people don't care yet, or if they might not ever care.
Fair enough. There's so many of these people. Where did all these new people come from? I don't even know.
Yeah, I just don't understand how I grew so, you know, the rate that I'm growing at. Like, you know, that libertarian socialist rants guy?
Yes.
He's been making videos for like 4 years and he has 26,000 subscribers. I've been making videos for about 5 weeks and I'm close to 2,300 now.
Oh, jeez.
So
yeah, that is very impressive growth.
Yeah, comparing just rates of growth there, I'm doing way better than that fucking douchebag.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
Yeah, like he made this video attacking Black Pigeon Speaks, and I tied that in with the Avalian thing. Just like I made a video about like people trying to silence others, because in libertarian socialist rants criticism of Black Pigeon, first of all, it's like a 25-minute long video, so I didn't bother, you know, doing like a point for point kind of thing with it. I basically just made it a diss video. I was just like, look at this fucking moron. Because basically he just sits there and goes, Black Pigeon Speaks is literally Anders Bering Breivik. He's literally Hitler. Like, this is what the kid did.
Oh my god. That's terrible.
Yeah, and he says all this stuff about like, oh, he talks about racial politics. I don't think Black Pigeon has ever, love him or hate him, agree or disagree. I don't think he's ever brought up race in any of his video. He talks about
I fucking hate Black Pigeon Speaks, but he's not Anders Breivik. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like the guy's not a Nazi, like
no. What country is he from?
I don't know. I really don't know actually. He has an interesting accent. Like he doesn't sound American to me, but I'm not entirely sure.
He almost sounds Canadian to me. I could see that.
Yeah.
But no, that some criticism is just absolutely retarded and out there.
Yeah, I mean it's one thing if you want to like argue, like actually make like a logical argument against him, which I've seen a lot of people do. But libertarian socialist Rants didn't do that at all. He just did what he always does, just made a bunch of empty assertions and finger pointing and you're this, you're that, you're a Nazi, this is what your politics do. He brought up the Holocaust, saying that Black Pigeon's ideas would lead to another Holocaust.
I mean, it's that just kind of delusions of grandeur that really kills it and forces me to agree with people, or at least side momentarily with people I don't like. But I would do that for anyone. Like, I think it's equally important to condemn people for their actions and to defend them against bullshit accusations. Yeah. Even if you don't like them.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not entirely against Black Pigeon. Like there are certain things he says that are like a little too far for me, but then, like some of the basic fundamentals of some of the things he says, like, I mean, I'm really tired of nationalism being like a swear word in the political sphere. It's not entirely a bad thing. Doesn't have to be about race. It doesn't have to be about like, let's go kill these people to preserve our fatherland or any nonsense like that. I think it has a place, because you can look at countries like Japan or Israel, which are both extremely nationalistic, and they're not hurting anybody by doing it. Japan basically keep to themselves, and and they have a pretty strong society, pretty advanced society, and they're not hurting anybody, So
yeah.
So I think if a country wants to do things that way, there's nothing really wrong with it, as long as they're not starting wars and calling for genocide and ethnically cleansing people, things like that. Or even like Australia. Australia has their stop the boats policy, where they literally say, don't come here illegally, we're going to send you back where you came from, you can't come in. Like, and when someone like Donald Trump says things like that, that's essentially, the build the wall is kind of like the American equivalent of that, and we're going to deport illegal immigrants is like the American equivalent of that. And somehow he's literally Hitler for saying that. But meanwhile, Australia is over there doing the same thing, and nobody seems to criticize them for it.
They should. Everyone should criticize Australia.
Yeah, fuck those cunts.
Those Aussies, a very problematic bunch.
Yeah, they should let in all the Filipinos. Just let the entire population of the Philippines in, because white privilege or something. I don't know.
Clearly, so much white privilege up in this joint, y'all. Just completely bask in it. What is even going on in this chat? This chat is off. This chat is off its rocker.
Yeah, Lord Belmont says Europe and North America need to be a lot more like Japan, kick the migrants out and curb the proliferation of Islam. See, that's the kind of thing where it's like, you say that to the wrong person, they'll be like, oh, you're a Nazi, you're Hitler, but I really don't think it's all that unreasonable to have that position, It's not like Islam is some benign thing that we don't need to worry about. Like, it's kind of, it has a lot of cultural aspects to it that are antithetical to like, you know, fundamental principles of our society, of Western society.
Yeah, I agree. Well, so this comes up: is discrimination ethical? But so, and this already sounds bad right off the bat, but I guess it depends on what you mean by discrimination. Is in my view, you can't really discriminate against people who follow an ideology. What do you think of that?
I would definitely tend to agree with you there because, you know, the common defense of Islam that seems to come up in Europe a lot is, oh, well, you shouldn't criticize Muslims because that's racist, when it has nothing to do with race. You know, I know white American converts who are Muslims, and I disagree with them and am just as wary and suspicious of them as I would be of an Arab Muslim. You know, you know, like I said earlier, my dad is an Egyptian immigrant. His family was not Muslim, and I think that kind of makes me a little bit biased because I know a little bit about what it's like to be a religious minority in a Muslim majority society, and it's not, you know, not a good position to be in. Coptic Christians in Egypt are routinely the victims of hate crimes and discrimination and all kinds of stuff, like actual hate crimes. Like, so, you know, I just kind of, I'm wary about letting that belief system like that into Western society because we, especially in America, we have this, we have the First Amendment, we have this concept of religious freedom.
Oh, lovely. Decided to kick me again. Thanks, Google.
Oh, was I just? Well, was I just? Was I just talking?
Yes, you were.
Didn't hear any of that.
You had an audience, so
yeah, chat could hear.
It benefited someone.
Yeah, I mean, I was just saying that, you know, we have this concept of religious freedom here in the States, and you know, Islam, arguably at fundamental levels, doesn't respect religious freedom. You know, it's an ideology of dominance and expansion. You know, the whole point of Islam is to expand outwards and make more and more people into Muslims. And it's just it's conflict oriented on the face of it. You know, even in the United Kingdom, where Muslims are only about I think it's between 5 and 10% of the population, 70% of Muslims in the UK think that it should be a criminal act to criticize Islam and to criticize the Prophet Muhammad. So what happens? If or when they become 15% of the population, or 20%, or 30% of the population, and so on? You know, that I can't help but see that as a problem. You know.
Sure. I'm not even putting it out on the table what I would do against Muslims necessarily. I'm just saying that I don't think discrimination is a very useful word in this conversation because you can choose whether or not you're a Muslim.
Tez Hennessy says Islam is bad. Okay, got that. Okay, yeah, I kind of went on and on there. I know. Fuck off.
Taz is great. Okay. Oh, here's one. Okay. So how do you maintain a conversation without ticking people off? Impossible.
Hey, Grey Jedi, coming late is better than coming early, right?
Oh yeah. Coming
I'm
early.
sorry. I totally ignored a serious point you were trying to make so I could make it that
Yeah, no. We're past serious points at this point.
Olaf Berg says full genital mutilation.
That's not a bad band name. I could work with that.
Good grindcore band.
Grindcore. Yeah. I'm seeing some people in here I've never seen before. That's really cool. But they must have come along with you or Kraut or someone. Oh, Taz is apologizing to you.
Oh well, thank you, fam. I appreciate that for clarifying.
Yeah, what you were saying about seeing differences in Egypt, or not Egypt, fuck. I was looking at your icon. In England, already seeing that. London has a 12% Muslim population. They just elected Sadiq Khan, who has very pro-refugee policies. I mean, like, when does it end? It looks like it's not going to end for a while.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I guess it goes back to Brexit, where it would probably help them out to get out of the EU and get out from under these some of these pro-refugee policies, and remove themselves from that situation.
Sphinx, what do you think of Tariq Fatah? Have you seen the video of him ripping the Canadian Senate?
I have not seen that video, so I don't want to give an opinion on it without having seen it. Maybe you could give like a quick summary of it, or.
I mean, I love him. I think he's brilliant. But basically, in that video, he talks about how efforts that more people need to recognize the threat of Islamism, and that all these efforts to stop radicalization have been complete failures. And he talks about how there are radical elements within just the Islamic culture. And I like the example he gave that women are treated as second-class citizens. So if you have women are forced to go to the back of the mosque, and that is not controversial, that's a sign that your culture is radical.
Yeah, I mean, in some mosques, they're even sent down to the basement.
Yeah, that's terrible. And in that video, one of the members of the Canadian Senate basically starts to confront Tariq on that and say, like, oh, we have very different views on this. I've met so many beautiful, wonderful Muslim people. And he kind of goes on this just like nausea-inducing like spiel about that. And Tariq gets so pissed off that this guy, and Tariq's a Muslim, and this guy implies that Tariq's an Islamophobe, and he just goes off. Oh, you need to look it up. It's worth watching. It's something else.
Yeah, it sounds like I would like this guy then. Yeah, do you know Focus Break Habib?
I'm not sure. Who is this?
He's in one of the people in the shit lab. He's an ex-Muslim, and he kind of tries to play like the middle ground on it, because obviously he still has a lot of friends who are Muslim, and it's more complicated than just being like pro, and like I was saying before, it's more complicated than being pro or anti, or thinking in such simple terms like that. But that story just reminded me of how he's been accused of being both an Islamist and an Islamophobe in the same common thread at the same time, like by different people. Because I guess
it reminds me of, I've been told in the same comment thread that I have white guilt and I'm a white supremacist. So try to sort that out. I don't. It's the internet. I don't understand these people.
What you get for trying to be rational. You get the two extremes coming at you from both sides, and oh well, you don't agree with me, so you must be the other guy. If you don't agree with me, then you must be the polar opposite of me.
Pretty much.
Like,
oh, okay, Abdullah, I sent you the link if you want to come in, buddy. Feel free. But no, go on. Go ahead.
I was done.
Done with your little rant. Yeah, I guess there are some people within our camp who are ex-Muslims but still have some cultural attachment or are Muslims. I mean, I don't really have a problem with that necessarily. I like Tariq Fatah. I think he's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like, that's really what Islam needs is, to become, to sort of, it can't undergo a reformation the same way Christianity did, because part of that was like a translation issue and like people being able to actually read what was in the book. With Islam, it's going to need to be more of just like a people waking up and seeing the bad ideas the bad aspects for what they are, and sort of rejecting them and saying, okay, well, we can't just keep doing this. People like that, like actual moderates, are what we need, not people who say they're moderate and then knowingly look the other way when they know a terrorist lives in their neighborhood and they don't say anything. To me, that's not a moderate. Someone who's who's actively speaking out against that kind of thing is what I would consider a moderate.
Well, you don't see, because to even have this expectation for Muslims to condemn the bad things in their culture is Islamophobic.
Yeah, I mean that's the narrative that's pushed, is you can't criticize it at all. You can't have the kind of conversation that we're having right now because
yeah, no, it's
gross, it's racist.
They won't even allow this to be a point of discussion, which is a sign that it should be hammered harder than anything else.
Yeah. I mean, and that's why I find the criminalization of criticism. That's why I find that so disturbing, is because if they were to actually get their way on that, then all bets are off. Because the only way to beat a bad idea is to have the freedom to criticize it. If you can't criticize it, then it's over.
Yeah, at that point you take away any kind of skeptical check in society. The whole point of Western civilization has been to debate those kind of ideas. It's been this very strange experiment, and we're going to just let it end because we might hurt somebody's feelings.
That's definitely the feeling I'm getting.
Because
if we just keep giving ground and keep letting these regressive ideas advance, it's going to destroy the founding principles of our society. It's going to get rid of all the things that made our society great. Hashtag make the West great again.
For real. And not even that I'm like some huge nationalist or culturalist or something, but I mean, we have something going here. It's not the greatest thing in the world, but it's something. It works on so many levels. Are we really just going to throw it away?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds cliche, but it's not. It may not be perfect, but it's the best we've got. And the only way we can get something better is by preserving this. Because if we don't preserve this, we're just going to backslide into the shittier situations we were in before.
Yeah, that is the thing. Like, find me one place that's better.
Right. Like everyone, and I've noticed this especially on the left. The right doesn't seem to do this as much, but especially on the left, it seems to be like, oh, Western society is so there's so many problems with it, and it's like, okay, well, would you rather live somewhere else? Like, can you? Is it possible to name somewhere that's better? Because I don't
Congo.
think it is. Yes, South Sudan.
Ugh. Hey, Brown Man, how are you?
Allahu Akbar.
Oh shit! Shut this shit down.
Oh god. Looks like it's over, bud.
Yeah, I knew they were going to come for us. It's not YouTube shutting down channels anymore. They're personally hiring jihadis.
I'm the secret Muslim hitman.
There's gonna be this new
Keep it
epidemic
quiet.
of jihadi, like, spreading viruses through your computers. Maybe that turn your computers into bombs. It's a lot easier. It's a lot easier than having to meet up with someone.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a secret, so
Shh. How was the last Islamist meeting?
we discussed new and improved ways to stone gay people.
New and
Well-
improved.
Did you build any clocks?
That's for next week. We were discussing whether or not we should use granite or just sandstone.
I see. It's the finer points of stoning.
Yes. You know, size, how far you have to dig the woman, so on and so
Yes.
forth.
It's pretty much a physics class too. You have to look at the trajectory and and measure the. Yeah, I see it. Yeah,
Do
I
you
can see where
guys
it'd be difficult.
do you guys train on that Milo tosser game the way a pilot would train in a flight simulator?
Why would you do that? We just train with actual gay people.
We'll give you Milo for practice.
Nah, I like Milo.
He's the one faggot who can live.
Yeah. Let him live.
Let
Secret
him
Muslim
go.
said it.
He's a faggot and a Jew. Double whammy.
Never mind, kill him.
I was gonna let the faggot live, but then you mentioned Jew. I don't know. So what's up with you, Abdullah?
I'm just, getting called abdummy by certain people.
Abdummy, what did you do?
I don't know. Taz thinks I have some sort of apostate privilege.
Apostate privilege. Anyone's giving that to you, it's him.
What's an apostate privilege? I'm not out here saying, listen to what I have to say because I'm an ex-Muslim. The fuck?
The privilege of people wanting to kill you.
Yeah, that's not a privilege. It's just a threat.
I forgot to mention that earlier, but in Egypt, as an example, I'm sure most of the people here have seen that Pew Research Center study from last year, the Social Attitude Survey, and apparently 80% of Egyptian Muslims think that apostates should be killed. So doing a little math here, Egypt is a country of 80 million people. 90% of them are Muslim. So of that 90%, 80% think that apostates should be killed. So you're talking about like 50, 60 million people. If this percentage is accurate, you're talking about 50, 60 million people in Egypt.
I already know that, but here's the thing. The other 20%, what do they want? They aren't just some like willy-nilly liberal hippie Muslims. No, they want you in jail instead.
Yeah, see, that's the disturbing thing is that's a great point. I never thought of that, but it doesn't just stop at killing people. Putting someone in jail is almost as sinister in my opinion because it's still totally illiberal and it's just it's just all around not compatible with the way we do things in Western society. You don't put people in jail just for disagreeing with you.
The Egyptian statistics on that alone are alarming. Even if you didn't factor anything else, and Egypt is one of the more moderate countries.
Yeah, that's another.
That's really terrifying.
Yeah, because because Egypt is a relatively compared to Saudi Arabia, for instance, Egypt is relatively stable in terms of like the religious violence and stuff. There's not as much of it there. It's more of a functional society for the common person. Like you don't see stonings in the street like every single day in Egypt. At least not in the cities.
The pharaoh face-doxed himself from Egypt. He would not have done that from fucking Pakistan.
Yeah.
Or Saudi Arabia or Yemen. No fucking way.
Well,
Yeah.
Habib does it, so.
Where does he live?
Habib has got fucking balls of steel, dude.
I mean, Habib has his first name out. I don't know his last name, and he also goes on camera, and he lives in Dubai. So if he can dox himself, then I should be doxing myself too.
I mean, he's taking.
Abdullah, you're such a pussy. Come on, man.
But I mean,
I'm a basket weaver.
in all seriousness, though, Habib is taking a huge risk doing what he's doing. If the wrong person found out, he could, who knows what could happen to him. He could get killed by an angry mob or something.
A fundamentalist, surely.
They're literalists. They're wrong. Quote Kyle Kalinske.
They're
Fuck that
wrong.
faggot.
Literalists are
Oh
right.
God, why did
Of any
you?
religion.
I am extremely triggered right now. Why did you have to bring up that fucking faggot, Kyle Kalinske?
Ugh.
He's
I don't, I
so.
don't, he thinks that he can comment on every single issue around the world, such as the Israel BDS issue, where in reality, the only person he's harming is Palestinians in the West Bank. Because you're shutting down Israeli businesses there, and you're putting the Palestinians out of jobs. Well fucking done, dumbass.
Let's boycott Israel. Oh, you mean the country that gives aid to Palestine?
Exactly.
Fucking dipshit.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily say I like everything the Israeli government does. You know, there is some criticism to be had there, but you know, and stuff the boycott Israel stuff, and they're committing genocide and all this other, you know, this ridiculous shit that people say is just it's out of touch with reality. You know,
Listen, the Jews are a competent people. If they wanted the Palestinians dead, there would be no talk of
well,
Palestine.
yeah, and not in, you know, competency aside, they have fucking F-15 Strike Eagles with laser guided bombs that they got from us here in America. You know, if they wanted to wipe out the Palestinians, they could do it fucking tomorrow. You know, so pretty sure that's not what's happening.
But hey, guys, did you hear about that shark over in Sharm el Sheikh? And the Egyptian authorities blamed it on the Jews.
What?
Yeah.
Oh, you mean? Are you talking about the plane?
The Mossad shark.
I'm not sure, but of course it blamed it on the Jews. Come on. Yeah, you could insert anything in there. I remember the plane though. That there was some clip of like the plane disappears and they were like, "This is the Zionists." Like,
It's a
oh my
Zionist
god.
conspiracy.
Yeah, I'm sure it is, dude.
Everything's a Zionist conspiracy.
That sounds like a really scary world to live in.
If they don't get fresh bread from the oven, it's a Zionist conspiracy.
Anders says they have enough guns to make Palestine a parking lot.
Oh god. Welcome to the Palestinian parking lot. Yeah, that'd be awesome. Oh yeah, I do remember we played a video on the show. What's his name, from Ami Horowitz, and he was going around a campus and interviewing people and seeing if they would fund Hamas to fight against Israeli oppression, and people were giving him money.
Let's be fair here. It's in Portland, liberal or aggressive heaven, and same goes to Seattle and San Francisco.
Yeah, they're pretty terrible places.
I mean, even up here in Toronto, you get so much cucks.
We're breaking the conditioning! Ah!
What the fuck was that?
Was that Alex Jones?
Some
Breaking the
random Alex
conditioning.
Jones to
Oh
help
my
our day.
god. I don't think I can handle that. Yeah.
Oh, okay, I'm done. I just felt a very strong urge to shitpost a little bit.
It was the Jews.
Yes, the Jews made me want to shitpost.
The Jew. Evil Jew.
They fired a mind control satellite through the roof of my home and compelled me to engage in shitposting.
Well, to be fair, I don't know where my shoe went last night. I think the Jews took it. Ashgar Bukhari reference. Fuck that guy. Fuck that guy. Dumbass.
That's a good point. If Jews control the media, why are most media companies anti-Israel? Yeah, that doesn't make sense at all. That kind of throws that out the window.
Oh, here's something funny for you guys. There was this guy called Ashgar Bukhari. Okay? He's British. Loses his shoe, blames it on the Mossad. My nigga. Like, what's wrong with you? Fuck off. Either way. And he's like, yeah, I'm just being rational about it. And then I'm just like, no, you're not. Why would a Jew want one pair of your shitty ass shoe made by some fucking kid in Pakistan? Like, fuck off and go fuck a child or something. Cunt.
It sounds like Ab Dumby is advocating pedophilia live.
So secret
That's a really
Muslims
lame
do.
nickname. That's really the best I could come up with. Ab Dumby.
It isn't as good as Tinfoil Taz.
Yeah, Tinfoil Taz has like a ring to it.
Yeah, it's because, a T and a T go together.
Alliteration. We couldn't remember what that was earlier.
Abdubi's too kindergarten for me.
Oh, Taz. Poor Taz. People should let Taz back in the group. Without the group, Taz is kind of like a lost lamb. He needs guidance.
Honestly,
Otherwise he's just gonna wander into the wilderness and never be seen again.
I can't wait. It's not the fact that I'm pissed off at him calling me a secret Muslim. I just find it very entertaining, and it's part of my joke wheelhouse now.
Yeah, I don't know, man. You could be practicing taqiyya right now.
Ugh, I hate people who say that. They know nothing about criticizing Islam. If they mention Taqiyya in the same sentence as Sunnis.
Well, I mean, it's not totally exclusive. Some of them do practice.
No. There's a different term to it. It just says a lot about you if you criticize Islam, right? And then you mention Sunnis do Taqiyya. No, it's just like you want to be as honest as possible when criticizing Islam. And if you're someone with a PhD in Islamic studies, you should know this. I'm looking at Robert Spencer here, just as a certain example. Or Mr. Hick from Florida, who's like, oh, they're making a hijrah to Europe. No, you make a hijrah to Mecca.
I'll tell you one thing, son. We
Yeah,
just gotta nuke Mecca. Hashtag nuke Mecca.
The pigeons are doing a fine job of that.
Hashtag gas the Muslims. No, yeah, I can understand. I can understand how that wouldn't make sense. Like making.
Well, speaking in pragmatic terms, if you nuke Mecca, you will cripple the Saudi economy. It's such a money spinner for them. It's not even funny. That and oil.
What do you think of What do you think of what Trump said about wanting to stop buying oil from the Saudis? What's your opinion on that?
How will he do that?
I don't know how he would do it. It's just like a thing he said.
I mean, I agree with your sentiment, but what's a feasible way in which he's able to achieve that?
He says a lot of shit that he can't actually do. So
Yeah.
I don't take it very seriously.
Yeah.
I mean, and I actually really like Trump. I would vote for him if I was in the U.S. Up here in Canada, I would normally go conservative.
Yeah,
But you kind of have to. Your Liberal Party is a complete joke.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it's
And the thing is, our last conservative prime minister was a piece of shit. The only reason that Trudeau's in power is because everyone was like, never Harper.
That is what happened.
And you get this incompetent fuck in power. I think Trudeau would have made good opposition with a conservative, a joint liberal conservative government, a coalition of sorts.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't.
But a liberal majority, sheesh.
I just don't. It's one thing to have a more left-leaning government, which I'd probably be in favor of. I just don't understand why in Canada, where this hypersensitive feminist government comes from. Like, what is this? This is so just bizarre.
It's weird because, he got a lot of feminists up here. Canada is an insanely
really
more
gross.
liberal country than the U.S.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a stream earlier today where we were talking about we spent some time talking about the Jian Ghomeshi trial. Have you ever heard of Feminism LOL, the YouTube channel? It's
Yes.
It's Canadian.
I heard about it, but I don't watch the videos.
She's done a lot of videos on the Gameshi thing and how the Toronto police basically were trying to cover up some of the things that they did and
What did they do?
They basically didn't they tried to obfuscate the fact that they're just letting the plaintiffs get away with blatantly lying in court. And just
About Gomeshi or just the whole case in general?
No, I mean the thing with the Gameshi trial was that the three plaintiffs were basically caught in lies in their stories, and that was what ultimately led to him being acquitted. And the media and the Toronto police tried to downplay all of that and basically just minimize it as much as possible. And instead,
some feminist in my high school class was talking about, oh, they were all crying. Well, so fucking what? You know, it's
right. Yeah, I mean that's Canada for you. You know, I mean,
yeah,
I don't really know because I don't live there, thank God. But you know, that seems to be the mentality. Is like, oh, a woman said it, so it must be true.
Listen and believe.
Have you heard of that Amber, whatever her last name is, the actress, and Johnny Depp? I don't know how to pronounce her last name. I don't know if it was like Heard or Heard.
It's Heard, I think. Amber Heard. Yeah, that whole thing where she posted a picture that was supposedly of a bruise that she had, and then like the very next day she was like out and about and there was nothing on her face at all. It's like, wow.
It was probably really good makeup. Makeup is magic these days.
Yeah.
Hollywood.
Yeah,
and the thing is, if you get emotional in court and you're an actress, it's pretty easy to do because you're an actress.
Yeah.
She's a fucking like millionaire, so and to pay and she gets paid to act emotional on a fucking TV screen. She gets paid to act emotional on a TV screen. What's stopping her from doing it in court?
Yeah.
They just put on a quick show trying to implicate Johnny Depp and get everyone's feels going. And that's why we get the judges to not be biased.
Johnny Depp is a white man, after all.
A white man.
White. Very white.
Fucking white male!
He sure is. I've noticed. He's extra white. That has to count for something, too.
So I just checked my Skype, and I have two messages from Kraut that say, "I am so tired and I love you." I'm pretty sure he meant to send those to his girlfriend.
No, he's meant to send them to you.
I said LY2BB.
It's just like, you should have been see you later, Habibi. Something like that.
Oh, Kraut. The Germans are a mysterious bunch.
He's not very mysterious, but his accent.
Kraut's
I will legitimately suicide bomb for his accent. Kraut has got a local terrorist who will do suicide bombing for his voice.
Yeah, Kraut.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier too. How it's after he left, it's just not fair. Like that voice game is just not fair.
Devin and Anthony called him a German Voltaire's ghost. Perfect analogy.
Definitely can. Yeah, that was another chance I missed talking to Kraut. This is the first time I got to talk to Kraut because we were in that same episode of the Flying Monkeys podcast, but I had already gone off because they can only have like one guest at a time.
Yeah, it was pretty sad.
Yeah, the show really went downhill after I left. It was kind of like, oh yeah, never mind.
I mean, if they're watching a video, they kind of get rambly.
That's something I noticed that was different because they do something very similar to me, but they definitely we spent like an hour responding to that black woman about the gorilla zoo incident. I was like, wow, we usually don't go this long on a video. But I mean, it's
Yeah,
fine.
I
Go ahead,
mean, I think you'll be better if you were to get like the general gist of the video and respond to that.
Yeah, I think
So
they had this kind of mentality almost of like we need to respond to the whole video, which I've never really like. I'm willing to call it at some point, be like, okay, that's enough of this shit, something else.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it depends how long the original video is. If it's under 10 minutes, I'll respond to the whole thing. But much more than that, and it just kind of becomes like a slog. And it's like, yeah, no one wants to watch a half-hour long fucking.
no,
At least,
it's not that. It's if there's a 20-minute video, you should respond to the whole video because there might be things that you might not miss.
yeah, I mean,
However, if you're on a podcast, that's a different story.
yeah, yeah. I mean, as far as like recorded responses to like really long videos like that, I'll watch the whole thing and I'll find, you know, the pertinent points. But like we were talking about that libertarian socialist rants guy a little while ago, and he's a perfect example of someone who's not worth responding to the entire video for, because there's a lot of repeating himself and not really making a lot of specific claims about anything and just kind of rambling. He's a rant channel. It's in the fucking name. So, I think it really just depends.
Yeah, if it's a 20-minute Steve Shives video about humanism, his videos are very slow paced, but he still does get his shitty little points in.
That video was so bad and so long, it took 3 people to fully respond to it. Because Joe Live Life did a part 1 of that video, and then Billy did part 2, and I did part 3. And even just doing like 6 minutes was torture. Like, I was just like, oh my god, there's a reason we don't watch Steve Shives on the show. I think I would kill myself.
Yeah,
No, thank you.
yeah, he's a special kind of unbearable.
He really is. Like, I do a show where the entire point is watching bad videos. I'm telling you that Steve Shives is too bad for that. Like, it would be like if I played one of his videos, I would have to take back everything I said about the other videos. Never mind, I forgive all of those. Those are fine. Those are actually classics compared to this. This is just garbage.
I mean, and then there are, some people will put out videos that are just so stupid and vacuous that you almost don't know how to respond to it.
I mean
Like-
that fucking gorilla, everything's racist, black chick. Like, what the fuck?
Ugh.
This
Yeah, I
wasn't a
talked
racial
to-
issue. What? I mean, a black person got trapped with another black animal. Where's the race?
I mean,
Exactly.
that's something else that Ranthony and I talked about on our stream earlier today. Was like the Black Lives Matter people tried to racialize that whole gorilla thing, and it's like, you're the ones who are making the association with young black men getting shot and an animal getting shot.
Exactly.
You're the ones doing that. Like, so what does that say about you? Like,
Some New York venue actually just canceled a bunch of rappers who were gonna show up to perform, or because other rappers are shooting at each other. The usual black stuff, gang activity, you name it.
I mean, you come to a certain point where you can't just keep blaming your community's problems on other people. Like there's a point where that has to stop, and you have to like take a step back.
Black people are doing that, but they're not mainstream. I mean, you still have Larry Elder. I like
Ugh.
Larry Elder.
Yeah, I
He-
guess.
He came in a little strong on Dave Rubin, but he's still fine.
Yeah. I was I was talking to Leica, and I got the link to that black chick's channel. So I might
New
find
content?
some. Yeah,
New
I might
content?
find. Yeah, there's a couple videos in there that might be worth responding to. She is a special kind of just like, oh my god, this is not good.
Black people.
Yeah.
So you're just stuck to the cotton fields. And you have this shit.
What about brown people?
We help the white people in enslaving black people. You know this.
Fair enough, you're forgiven.
Yeah,
Let's team up one more time, brown man. We're
Yeah,
gonna team up.
the brown people also enslaved Europeans once upon a time. So
If people don't mention the Janissaries, 1 every 4 children would be taken in to serve in the Ottoman Empire. Hello?
Yeah, no, that didn't
Weird.
happen at all. We all know there was never any genocides under the Turks. Nothing happened. Shh. What are you even talking about? Are you really criticizing brown people? What color are you?
what's an Armenian?
I don't know. I've never even heard of these people. I'm pretty sure because they all died, though. There's a couple left. The remnants of a once proud Armenian empire.
Speaking of black people, did you guys see you see that guy T's response to the DePaul thing?
I did
No.
not.
The video is literally called Black Lives Matter. I'm sick of you niggas.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I know what the video is. I just didn't watch it. I didn't get the time.
It's pretty awesome. You should watch it.
Okay, I'll make sure I check it out.
Is this a shoot the shit type of hangout? No, no, friend. This is an extremely organized, rehearsed conversation that is very focused on the topics and issues at hand. I don't know how you couldn't have noticed that.
What's next on the agenda, gentlemen?
Let me check the list. I believe next we were going to attack, or we were going to focus on China's export policy. Okay. Abdullah, you first.
Donald Trump's right on it. I don't know anything about China at the moment.
Yeah, fuck China.
You
No,
know what? You know what? That's basically Donald Trump's policy towards China is fuck China, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah. He wants to get like all the sort of business and jobs back in the States, which is fair enough.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Cuck up there in Cucknadia says that he admires the Chinese government. Remember that? Wasn't that fun?
Justin Trudeau just came out and flat out said that honor killing shouldn't be called barbaric.
Ugh.
Yeah, that one was good too.
To be fair, he did retract his statement, but after what? After everyone was like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? I mean, you can virtue signal, but don't virtue signal to that extent, you know?
Justin Trudeau is an argument against letting women vote. His existence is an argument against women's suffrage.
Oh, you know who I see here.
Like the Canadian media literally asks him what kind of shampoo he uses.
Ugh.
No. I've seen other countries fawn over this man. Well, man, in sort of a loose term.
Allegedly, yeah.
Very much so.
Blair White is more of a man than Trudeau. Yay, trans jokes.
Yeah, brown man. You know who I see here? There's this guy Voltron in the chat. I'm surprised to see you here, friend, because he was talking some shit about us earlier. Apparently upset that we took shots at Gavin McGinnis on the show.
Gavin McGrinnis.
So I'm so sorry to have attacked the Messiah. Please forgive me.
Well,
I-
he's okay on the important issues, but then he just goes on his anti-masturbation rant, and you're just like,
Sure.
Fine.
We've even said that we don't play most of his videos because we agree with most of his videos. We've only played like 5.
the sad thing is that this sort of religious sort of right wasn't a thing until the SJWs came. I mean, it was a thing, but then they sort of like seceded, and now they're back.
Yeah, like the religious right kind of went away for a while. You're totally right. Like they sort of dropped off the map for a little bit, and as the SJWs have gotten louder and louder, the religious right, they're actually reviving the religious right with their fucking stupidity.
They're not even religious, and
Steven Crowder was almost a nobody. Now he is somebody.
I could stand for them to be more religious because Jesus is the best part of the right wing. I could stand with a little more Jesus because this new crop of idiots, oh my god, embarrassing. Get some Jesus in there, y'all.
Well, even the Conservative Party's up here. I'm sure Harper's some sort of devoted Christian, but there's no outward expression of it. Everyone would be like, dude, what the fuck's wrong with you? It's more like Europe in that sense. Religion is more private up here.
Yeah.
And the
Yeah,
Christians
no.
that I run into are completely like religious. And
Now, you know what it is, Abdullah? Now they used to say like we don't like gay marriage because we hate queers. Now they have like really bullshit limp dicked. Oh, I don't think government should be involved in marriage, or I don't think it's very fiscally responsible, or some just stupid bullshit like that. Like, oh my god, you guys are really desperate to nitpick anything, aren't you? Just let people do whatever they
If the
want.
government isn't involved in marriage, then why are you banning gay marriage?
Exactly.
Isn't that government involvement?
Yeah, well, they pretend they don't like government involvement unless they can get something they want, because, I mean, everyone recognizes how powerful the government is.
I mean, especially if you're a libertarian conservative against gay marriage, that's not libertarian, you know? And as a somewhat libertarian myself, I'm not like, fuck the state, no, I'm just like one of those libertarians who, well, I don't think the government deserves to interfere in
Sure.
in what
Well, I can deal
people
with
want
you
to
then.
do with each other. I'm not like,
And-
no, fuck roads.
And the reason there really isn't
Roads.
an extremely successful libertarian politician is for that very reason. They get up there and they get so corrupt off the power. I mean, no one wants to be president and then neuter all their power and give it to the states. No one would want
Exactly.
that. It's just not in human nature to do this. If we lived in a world filled with not humans, with like perfect angel beings, maybe we could achieve this.
Well,
Oh my,
there's this quote I read in a book.
oh my God, the chat is going crazy. What the fuck is going on here? Okay, go ahead, Abdallah. I'll fix this.
What's going on in the chat? And I need to see. Faggot cancer. Huh?
Dude, fuck off with the vaporwave meme. It's fucking. It's been dead for like 3 years. It's like the stalest meme.
Why is there a Dat Boy meme? It's time for Caveman SpongeBob.
Yeah, why did that come back? That's so strange.
Oh shit! What up? It was funny while it lasted.
Oh my God. Yeah, I remember that episode. Shit, that was a long time ago. But yeah, what were you saying, Abdullah?
I don't remember. But moving on to regressives on Facebook.
On Facebook. Oh,
On
lovely
Facebook. Oh, fuck me, what is
Oh yeah, I can jam to that. Wow.
It was a good nasheed, guys.
Vaporwave is only funny if it's Gabe the dog.
There was this vaporwave of someone getting hit by a car that was drifting. It was legitimately great.
Oh yeah, hold up. I'm gonna find a picture that I got sent today that was pretty good. Is Kraut is Kraut still up? I thought he was going to sleep. He needs to sleep. Come on, Kraut. So what time?
Oh God, you're making me religious again with all these memes.
Oh, it wasn't an attack, just an observation. Gavin is a lot like Devin, so to see y'all together is interesting. I don't really think so. Devin's an open liberal and Democrat. They might agree on a couple things, and Devin has said some nice things about Gavin. So have I. But I shit talk everyone because fuck
And he's
everyone.
actually legitimately funny.
I don't know about that.
Price.
Yeah.
Chloe Price. Bang. Jesus, put that thing down. Chillax, sister. It's not even loaded. Yet. I don't
Allah Akbar.
Yes, I believe I should control the gun. It's the men who need to be checked. Jesus, I shot myself! Ah, I shot myself! Back up! Back up! Stupid gun!
Looks like the Muslims had a point.
Don't give women guns. All right,
Don't give women anything.
I'm gonna show this shit. This is pretty great. We had this sent into us, this piece of fan art.
Who drew this?
Our friend Anders drew this. It's pretty awesome.
Wait, who the fuck is the person on the left?
Oh, that's Skepo as a Scarlet Witch.
She looks black.
Yeah,
black.
she's a secret black now.
So Spinosaurus Kin is just randomly an actual Spinosaurus in the
I
back.
think he's supposed to be the Hulk.
Oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty fucking awesome. We'll use it as a
Of course,
thumbnail.
there's a lack of brown people, as it should be. Keep
Yeah,
everything
'cause-
racially pure.
Yeah,
White
fuck
power.
brown people. Well,
Devin's
You
kind of
ha- You're half brown, so you're 0.75 of a man. I'm one half. Black people are 1/4. Pakistanis are 0.1. Fuck Pakistanis.
Yeah. Pakistanis are just the worst.
Call me a racist
I-
like.
Can I be a
Fuck it.
mod? I don't want to make anyone else a mod because
You don't give power to people who ask it.
I've seen what's happened. Oh my god. Okay, Taz is here. I thought Taz got banned for a second.
Your old basket weavers.
Complete basket weavers. Every last one of you.
It's a good day to have a good day.
No. Their
That's worse than Snoop
bravado.
Dogg.
Their bravado is similar with Gavin and Devin. I guess. They're both entertainers.
That's why the Muslims want to invade memes.
Dank memes. Why are you mispronouncing that, Abdullah?
Defend your clan.
Oh Jesus. Yeah, that guy. I can't wait when I
Yeah,
pass him in.
I can't believe you challenged Anthony to a fight.
Oh, that was terrible.
I was like,
I-
my nigga, the Polish got invaded by Germany. Number one. Number two, you won't even get past Toronto. Dumbass.
I can't wait till the day when I pass Josh in subs, and he's been like fighting for so long to even get to like what?
I love Anthony's daily updates on his sub counts.
Oh, yeah, that's great.
It's so funny.
And Josh is like, he gives us like really passive aggressive. Oh, it looks like you're spending a lot of time on my channel. It's like, yeah, we're making fun of you. You're funny.
You're the one who tried to fuck with us in the first place.
Yeah, now you can't handle the heat. Fuck off with that.
Can't handle the heat. Get out of the kitchen. And leave it to a woman. Because that's what they should
a
be.
woman. Oh, jeez. Logical Fox, what are you doing, bro? Okay. It looks like Voltron and I are cool. I've got nothing against you, man. But if people talk shit, I talk shit back.
Damn straight, nigga.
And if you don't, you're a cuck like Trudeau.
True cuck.
True cuck. Trudeau is a... I really can't believe not only that he's a real person, but like you.
There's this
elected
Twitter
him your
account
leader.
actually. There's a Twitter account called Turdo.
Hey, we're just trying to have a good time, Narc. Why do you want to destroy us?
Don't commit your hate crimes here! Hate crime!
Okay.
I'm sorry, liberal Fox, or not liberal Fox, shit. Logical
Liberal.
Fox. Liberal. I was thinking of logical liberal for some reason.
I thought you were thinking about Liberal Honk.
Or this is way too many people with names.
I googled Bitola, so if I visit there in Macedonia, I'll hit Liberal Honk up. So we can have a quick fuck.
Oh yeah, he does want your DE. But I'm sorry, Logical Fox, you have lost your power.
Oh shit, nigga.
You may earn it back later. Oh yeah, you're about to have a showdown with one of the assassins. I love that movie. Logical fucking liberal. Whatever happened to that kid?
That's the cake. That's the cake.
Well, Devin put him in his place when he dropped his name.
Yeah, he just kind of stopped making videos.
I'm just like, you're gonna go after one under fucking anonymous account then. Get fucked. You know.
I should do that. I should like start an anonymous account and start like shit talking Devin on Twitter. Just be like, "Fuck you." That'd be funny.
I mean, it's always some anonymous little cunt on the internet who's sending you the emails.
The thing is, if you're within the community, we just do that to him right to his face anyway. Like, he doesn't ban us. He'll ban you if you're like an anonymous cunt, but he's not gonna ban us.
That's okay. Your tears say more than real evidence ever could.
Where do you get these effects?
Yeah, you seem to have this down, man.
This guy's got memes on memes on memes.
Memes, sir.
I have good faith belief that I'll say the right word next time.
Whoa. That was a thing.
Fuck was that?
Myself.
Not me. That's probably why I don't play Chopin.
Never?
No, never.
If I die, will you play Chopin in remembrance of me?
Nothing we're saying is future tense. It's all present tense. It's happening now.
Okay. Sphinx, play us a bad video. Let's play us a Justin Trudeau video.
I don't know if I want to live, or if I have to, or if it's just a habit.
Wow, Justin Trudeau's more emasculated than I originally thought. Scary.
That was a good roast. Yeah, play a true cuck video, please.
Is Sphinx even still here? Or is this just like on a loop?
For fuck's sakes.
I don't even know how to respond to that.
It reminds me of Iraq when I was fighting there 10 years ago. Fighting the U.S.
Oh yeah.
Allahu Akbar.
How did that go? I'm pretty sure you guys lost.
Yeah, we got beaten bad.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure we like.
That's why I'm a
kicked your
secret
ass.
Muslim.
Believable.
You can see the excitement. Look at those hands. Are they small hands?
People want to move. People want to move to Canada.
They're not acting like politicians. They're acting like middle school kids.
Donald Trump is president. That's going to be a really big disaster, and I'll probably have to leave the country.
Where would you go? I'm going to Canada. You're gonna move to Canada? I love Canada.
28% of Americans say they'll move to Canada if Donald Trump is elected president. 15% if Hillary's elected president.
I agree. I would move too.
We brought them the immigration papers.
I have application forms.
To be fair, Canada does have a lot of room.
And they were like, hell yeah. Like,
I'll stop them in Nunavut.
With some more people, right, Abdullah? It's very spacious.
No. We will erect a city.
It was a reality show.
In Nunavut. You will enjoy 5 degrees in the summer. Celsius.
Pause that shit.
I mean, I was shocked that people
Pause it.
filled them out.
Pause.
I will kill you, Sphinx. Sphincter, I will kill you. No, just kidding. Yeah, no. How do you feel about this, Abdullah? Will you accept these Americans with open arms?
Yes, provided they move to a new city in Nunavut called Crazyland, where the summers are 5 degrees Celsius, and that's the summer. Don't get me started on the cold up there. And there will be a yearly polar bear introduction, and they'll have to deal with it themselves.
Oh, that won't go well. I see.
So
this seems fair so far.
Canadian here, we don't want you. Vancouver house prices are shit, and so are Toronto house prices. Or you can move to Newfoundland and Labrador and catch hurricanes every week.
Yeah, people get very freaked out about who's going to be the president. It's very interesting. These people always they do it every time. It doesn't even matter who's elected. I'm leaving the country. It's like, bitch, you don't even like leave your house.
You guys ruined your country. Don't bring us down with you.
Oh yeah, you guys don't need help with
we
that.
don't need more Trudeau voters here. He's already a majority government. Damn it. I wanted a conservative majority. No, a liberal conservative government.
That's not happening anytime soon.
It's because like they will counteract each other.
What do we do now? What do we do with them?
Right. Yeah, we didn't think about that. There is one person we could ask.
You can't just text the Prime Minister.
You could tweet Justin. You have him in your phone as Justin. Oh my god.
Look at that smug fucking face on his face.
Oh, gross. Look at his hook nose.
So that's where Josh Benko's nose came from.
Look at this fucking thing. Oh, Sphinx can't talk because he's running this round. I see.
So glad to be here.
Justin Trudeau, Prime Minister of Canada, heartthrob phenom, who rode a wave of flowers and sunshine to victory last week.
Heartthrob.
Such a phenomenon that he inspired this.
Could you run for president?
Okay, this is a problem.
No. You know
what? Pause. Only reason why he's around is because of Harper. End of story. Oh, and of course it's Vox.
Oh yeah, they suck. I'm really disturbed that we live in an age where you can be a prime minister who's elected because he's a heartthrob, and you can be a president who's elected because he was on reality TV. Like, what's the next step? Are we just gonna elect like Victoria's Secret models? Like, this is obscene.
It's pretty much almost like asking pageant winners about politics.
You might as well just get a bunch of people who don't know what they're doing in there. I mean, they don't need help with that, obviously. But Justin Trudeau is. I'm disgusted by that. People actually think he's a heartthrob. This is a creepy looking motherfucker.
Have you seen him talking in his speeches about Canada's mistreatment of the Sikhs in the past?
Oh yeah, I saw where he wore the little headdress thing. It was just like cringy as all hell. Ugh. Yeah, no. There's nothing that speaks. There's nothing that speaks strength and leadership like apologizing for things that you had no control over.
Oh, hell yeah.
I'm very sorry. I can actually do a pretty good Trudeau. I am very sorry for our mistreatment of your people in the past. Yeah.
The only thing that's ever come out of Canada is hockey, maple syrup, and poutine.
I am very sorry.
I'm so sorry. We mistreated you guys in the past.
Well, I was trying to
imagine Trudeau trying to play hockey.
You'll literally make it. Okay, get up, guys. I don't know if you noticed, but I actually have a job, and it's a pretty good one.
Once I got him away from the thronging bros, I asked him about the impending 86.8 million Americans.
That's like so many millions of Americans. Like, just go back.
That's like so many. I mean, it's totally.
They're not gonna fit here. Canada's a big country because of all of the north. You go up north and you're gonna freeze to death, or get eaten by a polar bear, or get hunted by some natives.
Oh, it's
who probably will mistake a fat feminist for a seal.
I hate Justin Trudeau's wardrobe. He's always wearing this dumb outfit where he rolls up the sleeves, doesn't have a jacket. Oh, it just looks
all he's missing is that damn hipster beard.
Oh, it's almost like he's trying to be fashionable but like casual at the same time, and it's for a prime minister, it's just the worst look possible. God, who still has a watch in 2016? Look at this pretentious piece of shit.
Les Américains.
D'abord, il faut comprendre que ça se passe à chaque élection aux États-Unis. You remember George W. Bush's election, George W. Bush's re-election especially. There's a lot of people saying, oh no, if he gets elected again, I'm moving to Canada. And then other people were saying the same thing around Obama and Obama's re-election. But if you actually look at what happens after elections, the immigration numbers.
Wow, he is truly a brilliant.
Yeah, he's not letting
analyst.
these people in, but he will get a bunch of Pakis in the country.
Justin Trudeau, brilliant political analyst. These people say they'll leave the country, and they usually don't. Yet no shit.
Yeah, 26% of these people, all of them, are joking.
I'm moving to Canada. I would rather.
Do you think this idiot will let the people who want to get in over all the fucking refugees that we're bringing in here? Hell no.
No. Most likely not.
Don't necessarily
correlate. So we actually talked to New Yorkers, and do you mind if I share their messages with you?
Hey, Prime Minister Trudeau. Hey. Please help us. Please help us.
If you can grant me refugee status from Donald Trump, I'm totally going to move to your country.
Stop. First world problem. 101.
Like if you could totally
upper middle class looking hipster bitch from New York is afraid of an orange man.
Yeah, it's truly something like, wow, they really do validate Trump, don't they? Trump is not someone to be taken seriously ever, and these people are acting like it's the end of the world. I'm so scared. What do you think he's gonna do to you? Like throw you in a camp or some shit? What a joke.
Ugh.
Please take me, Justin Trudeau. I'd do anything for you. Ugh.
Yeah, and put his fucking dick between your feet.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not sure you'll be able to see it though. It's probably inside him now. He's fucked himself.
so we could be safe and happy and free. You had a quote, right? Like, your cabinet's diverse because it's 2016. Like, that's the kind of thing that we need. We need to move forward and be more inclusive.
Oh. Excuse me, Asian man. You have extremely slanted eyes. I just wanted to point that out. How does that make you feel?
Hashtag all Asians.
Hashtag all Asians look like this. And it's 2016. Oh my god, he just said that out loud. We need to be more inclusive, guys.
But the thing about Asians is that they're too busy discovering shit at MIT. They're not discussing social justice.
Asians don't say this. Asians don't cause a stink about Oscar nominations or anything.
Yeah, they're too busy making shit up at MIT, and good for them.
You're one of the bad ones. Go back to being the model minority, piece of shit.
The model minority are Indians. They get here and they're like, you become engineer.
They're just relieved they don't have to shit in the street anymore.
Yeah, good for them.
That's pretty racist. I don't know.
As a matter of fact, I want more Indians in this country. Like Hindu people. Not Indian Muslims, because they're horrible as well.
Oh, as far as what you were saying about Asians not making a stink, that's actually my next video. Is this Asian rapper who made a song about Oscar So White and made it like 3 months late, mind you.
Oh.
Yeah. So stink.
Oh, we have chiggas now.
Hindu rappers. The last thing I
first niggas and then wiggas and now chiggas.
So
remove that border. We don't want no border between us anymore. We don't want that. We want one country, one nation, one president.
Pause.
Whoa.
They're all from Harlem, aren't they?
Most likely. Okay, so she doesn't want a border. She wants Canada and America to be one country and one president. Who do you think the president would be? It'd be Trump. It's not going to be Trudeau.
Ugh.
He's going that bad direction. Save us.
Pause.
Trump, please.
Blue lipstick and black skin don't mix. Keep playing.
Yeah, exactly.
Save us. Thank you.
What do you make of that? This actually gives me tremendous confidence.
Really?
Yeah.
Really? That made me lose faith in humanity.
Realizing, that this election does matter, and they have strong opinions, and people who might not have thought about voting, are now going to make sure that their voices get heard, and they're going to make sure.
Yeah, Trudeau, you know a lot about exploiting people for their votes during an emotional time, don't you?
Yes, Trudeau, keep calling yourself a feminist and then selling weapons to Saudi Arabia. Please.
What a genius. What an absolute genius. Oh, we caught him on derp face. Oh, I'm very inspired by all this. Fuck you.
Ugh.
He sucks. Why? Why is he? And why haven't they disguised that mic? Ugh. Everything about this is terrible. Look at this faggot. Is this Abdullah? You're up north. Is this really the best that Canada has to offer in terms of heartthrobs? I cannot possibly believe that.
Well, I know the surfer guy, and he's pretty shredded. He does have a hook nose, though. So,
They should get him on the Young Turks as a guest.
Ugh. I made this point about the Young Turks not having anyone on their main show that they disagree with. They do it on their interview channel. I've seen Karen Strawn on there. I've seen some Republicans. I've seen Harris was on there famously.
Mm-hmm.
But they're never on the panel with them. And that's their main platform.
Sure.
People want the quick 3-minute video.
I can kind of see that to a certain point. Like, it would be hard to do the kind of show I do if you had a bunch of people arguing among each other and then trying to argue with a video, you know? But if it's people actually just discussing a topic, then there's really no excuse. But I'm not even asking for like a straight like a fight or anything. Just something different. Or at the every time someone tries to bring up like another opinion, like Ben or Anna, Jank just goes off. He just has this like tribal need to just shut it down immediately. It's pretty bad.
No, it's not that. If you're discussing like one of the big issues, like a bunch of dirty packies raped some German, so some Germans this time instead of Brits, at some music festival. If this reaches them, they'll be like, "Oh, that's a bad thing, and we should be very ashamed this all happened." But not all, not all. And then someone mentions, "Yeah, we all know this. We're not retarded," and then the whole fucking universe explodes.
Not all. Yeah,
Not
no,
all.
they can't get past that. No wonder the conversation doesn't move.
That's what democracy is supposed to be all about. We have difficult, divisive discussions in our election campaign. We've had challenges around all sorts of things, and I think the sense is that we're a place that has been able to work through it and work it out a little bit better than some other places, because Canada is one of those countries that figured out a fair while ago that differences and diversity are actually a source of strength, not a source of weaknesses. And when you sort of draw people together with a whole bunch of different perspectives, but a similar desire to succeed and create a good future for themselves and their neighbors, there's a lot of good things that happen.
Not many countries.
You know, Canada is so in favor of diversity, isn't it? Different ideas, all welcome.
Refugees resettled and crossed.
Canada's here pride themselves on having a multicultural society.
Yeah, but they don't have diversity of thought. And he's trying to sell it like we all come from different perspectives. It's like, no, you all come from the same perspective. You just happen to be different races and genders. That's all.
Diversity.
No, even before Trudeau came in power, you did have a lot of, for example, Indian immigrants. And then you had the Tibetans. And then the Tamil immigrants. So from Sri Lanka. Gypsy refugees, and they all ended up not being an issue, even though there was an issue with Tamil terrorists at one point.
Interesting.
And that diversity now shows up in its leadership. One of the first things that Justin Trudeau did as Prime Minister was design a diverse cabinet of an equal amount of men and women.
So what would the world look like if every cabinet or every office?
First of all, citizens.
Yeah, that was just unbelievable. Yeah, that really seems like the right approach, Justin. That seems like that's not going to lead to any kind of bad policy making.
I'm sure the people he elected are wildly competent. He just did it out of pandering.
Yeah, I'm sure. If I'm understanding correctly, if they were all like hand-picked by him, yeah, I'm sure they're the greatest in the world.
Around the world would be more comfortable that their issues might be noticed and taken seriously. I mean, quite frankly, we need a new set of solutions. I mean, if we know,
we need a new set of solutions. I like how this girl is like faking. She's trying desperately to look interested, but you can tell like this is like
not literally ass normal, cancer. It's like watching a Vadim Nyquist video.
Pretty much, this is not the normal type of conversation this girl engages in. Let's be real.
Listen, young, naive, 20-year-old adults are not trying to have a conversation with the Prime Minister about how diverse their country is.
And that's you see, I can even see that being done because Trudeau doesn't come across as a leader. Trudeau does look like someone I would just find in a shitty diner and sit down with, like, hey, buddy.
He would probably be that one guy in the corner who people try and talk to, but then you talk to him for 5 minutes, and you're just like, nah.
He'd have his hood up like he was Viggo Mortensen or some shit. Just watching, just being a creep.
Kraut did this video on a German feminist who was fawning over him. It was some funny shit.
Awesome.
I mean, You guys already have one hag. You get them with this cock, and they make a perfect pair.
Yeah.
Created for ourselves can't be
Hey,
solved.
Diversity, fat acceptance freeze.
Well, I mean,
I forgot. You know,
different approach. It's much more.
fat people really are wonderful.
Wonderfully fat.
I'm all for the fatness. It's extra. It's just more people to love. It's, you know, more areas to hug on a person, I think.
Yes, exactly.
True.
Fat people can be used as a somewhat mobile pillow.
As a nice inflatable Snorlax. Just in case I
Yes.
need to take a nap in the middle of the workroom.
Oh well.
Yeah, we can keep going.
Play.
In our decision making.
But it's not like it's all rainbows and butterflies either. In the 90s, the country was so divided that it almost separated, and many Canadians aren't on board with this multiculturalism.
There's even a poll showing that a third of
They're all racist.
agree with Trump's Muslim ban. How do you govern for all Canadians, including those?
I wonder why.
Try to.
I really wonder why, Justin.
The actual people and the individuals. I mean, there's two ways to do it. The first one is that on individuals, and you ask if they really, when they think about that, they're really thinking about the shopkeeper down the street who they see every day and goes, no, that guy's great, but it's just in general and you realize that it's a nebulous fear that has latched onto an idea, but it's not actually tangible. And a great example of that was the issue of Quebec's Charte des Valeurs, right?
This was a highly controversial, but
Oh my God, no.
Quebec. It would have
No.
banned state employees from wearing religious symbols while working.
A lot of people actually realized what that would mean was, for example, a young woman would have to choose between her job and her faith. People say, well, no, that's not what we wanted at all, and that's not what we mean at all. So
That is what it means. Oh my God, dude.
I mean, a society that tells a woman what she has to wear on her head, in the case of a veil or a niqab, is not a free society. But then,
Oh my God, pause this shit. What the
Let him
fuck?
finish. I want him to finish.
I can't.
It's not a free society, but
And
I want to hear what he says after.
it's not an easy answer. The challenge is politics doesn't work in thoughtful, reasonable conversations anymore. It happens in sound bites, in shouted slogans, in bumper stickers, in 10-second video clips. And how we take those tools that we have to use and tie them to reasonable conversations is the big challenge that politics is defined by now.
So even though we love to dream about running,
Okay, stop.
Yeah, no, we've
Stop right
tortured our audience enough.
Stop right there. Now, people use sound bites because it's more easily accessible, and it's not like the Huffington Post doesn't do this. That filthy website called Now This or whatever it's called.
It's not like his campaign didn't do this.
Yes. Harper tried to bring up the niqab, how it was utterly barbaric, and guess what? He's right. He's fucking right. I don't like
yeah.
Harper for plenty of reasons. The muzzling of scientists, his stance on weed and all that.
Sure.
But when he brings up the niqab, he's completely right. It's utterly barbaric.
It's not. It doesn't mean you don't live in a free society if certain businesses won't let you wear symbols of your religious faith if you work for them. Like,
If
that's
it's a
just
government
retarded.
business, then I kind of get what they're talking about, but it's a private business.
Yeah, if it's a private, that's what I'm getting at. If it's like the government, yeah, I understand. But I mean, some jobs, you can't wear the Muslim garb. It would get in the way.
Yeah,
It would just
you're
be
not gonna have a woman construction worker.
I remember there was a story a couple of years ago in the U.S. of there was this Muslim woman who wanted to wear her hijab in a swimming pool, and they basically like said like, no, that's actually against the guidelines, and she threw a little pissy fit and was like, I don't know, basically she had to go to another pool, but I think she was like threatening to like sue or some shit. It's like, oh, this has gotten so out of hand now.
Care jumps on everything though.
Oh, care is a disaster.
Familiar. And Canada has its own issues.
We're doing okay, but there's a lot of work still to do.
So what's the work left to do? What are the things that we'll also have to fix?
A big one. Canada has, for generations, if not centuries, broken its relationship and its partnership with Indigenous peoples. We ignored the fact that thousands upon thousands of Indigenous women and girls went missing and murdered over the past few decades, and we need to re-engage with that responsibly. We need to look at the fact that a kid who grows up in an Indigenous community doesn't have the same access to education or positive outcomes that any kids born anywhere else in the country have. So there's a lot of work to do on that file. There's more work to do even on feminism. And everyone's talking about how it's 2016 and we're doing well.
Oh yay, the current year argument.
Wow, I'm sure we're doing so well.
The tried and true.
More work to do even on feminism. And everyone's talking about
what work, Trudeau? Tell me.
It's 2016 and we're doing well, and they're good things that we've done, but we're still way down on the list of countries in terms of pay equity. I mean, Canada's worse than a lot of other countries, including ones we wouldn't suspect we would be worse than. Are women paid as much?
Pause. Notice how he said equity.
Yeah.
It's what they want. They want pay equity. They don't want pay equality.
Yeah, they pretty much just want reparations. It's wow, I can't believe he just said that. Like, he's just going to dismiss, oh, I know it's 2016 and we've made so many improvements, and he's just going to brush past all that, like, yeah, you know, that's whatever, but we want more. Oh, okay. Well, that's a really terrible thing to say.
Cheers, guys. Thank you, guys. I've got a really good job right now running Canada.
When has
you got a really good job, but you're doing a fucking bad job of doing it.
Instead of running away,
he can't run for president even anyway.
Would you drop?
Oh no.
Do you know feminist Ryan Gosling, the meme? Yes,
I've seen a little bit of that. Yes.
There's a study that shows that when men were exposed to the meme, they were more likely to identify with feminist beliefs. Would you be willing for us to use a photo of you and put the feminist meme? Like, we'll put it for you.
Yes, feminist beliefs. Yes, be more religious for me, please.
Oh god, they're like shitty Valentine's cards. Oh no!
Apply for permanent residence in Canada.
I couldn't do it.
No. Those socks. All right, we're done with that shit. We are done with that shit. I'm too much torture.
You know what? You know what? Fuck libertarian ideals and you know, freedom and all that stuff. Kill everyone in that video.
I would gladly use the state to do so. I would round up the state and take Justin Trudeau out back. Wow, that was something else. I think we're going to end that shit there because I have to do stuff in the morning. But thank you everyone who's here, Hagbard and Kraut and Sphinx and Brown Man.
The Brown Man.
Abdullah. No, you guys are great.
My role. I know my role, Reese.
No, your role is here. You were good at shit talking with me. Maybe we'll get you on the show sometime.
Nah, get someone who's worth it.
Someone who's worth it. Oh, you're always worth it in my book. Thanks to the chat. Next time I'm not gonna have so many mods because you guys are assholes. Good night.